Namco is getting ready to release a full Sandland video game, and IGN got a chance to play an exclusive preview for Fan Fest, and found a delightful throwback to a bygone era of anime gaming, with extra enjoyment for longtime Toriyama fans. One aspect of Toriyama's game that often goes unheralded is his brilliance as a designer. One look at his steampunky, circular car and airplane designs and you know instantly who drew them. Vehicle design is clearly a passion for Toriyama, having drawn everything from hovercrafts, airplanes, spaceships, to Toriyama-fied cars. His trademark machines have appeared in every one of his series, from Dragon Ball to Dr. Slump. Sandland finally put me in the cockpit of these wonderful vehicles, and it was a dream come true. My hands-on preview began with our hero Beelzebub in need of the right vehicle, a recurring element in my preview, to get across some quicksand. To do so, he enlists the help of a new character, a brilliant mechanic named Anne, who says she can get Beelzebub and the crew across quicksand on her bike. Unfortunately, she lost her bike during a chase, and now the gang has to go and retrieve it in an area called Talbo. Sandland is at its heart an open-world adventure game about Beelzebub and all the cool vehicles he can pilot. The main mode of transportation is a customizable tank that can traverse the sands and blast away enemies. And yes, it utilizes classic tank controls for that extra hit of nostalgia. But as we learn while trying to retrieve Anne's bike, Beelzebub can swap between several different vehicles in an instant. Once we discover that some flying creature have stolen Anne's bike and taken it to their lair up in the mountains, we switch to Jumpbot, a walker with the ability to, well, jump. Whereas the tank is meant to be a sort of slow but all-purpose vehicle designed for combat, the Jumpbot is specifically designed for the kind of platforming areas I saw in Talbo. The Jumpbot can leap vertically to scale the tall mountain, as well as hop over some tricky ledges. Once we reach the monster's lair, it's back to the tank to blast away at the flying creature. Maneuvering around while firing the tank's cannon takes a bit of a learning curve. Though my preview started partway through the game, you might be spared said learning curve through a tutorial and or the practice gained in the early part of the game. Nevertheless, the controls are intuitive enough for anyone who grew up playing old PlayStation games, so taking down the flying monster was no problem. The second part of my preview was where the vehicle customization truly shined. As you get further into Sandland, Anne's workshop will open up, allowing you to fully customize not only your tank, but a variety of other vehicles Beelzebub has access to in Sandland. Focusing primarily on my tank, I was able to pick and choose different weapons, sub-weapons, threads, and other kinds of accessories to build my personal Sandland destruction machine. I mostly went with aesthetic this time, but I did opt for a rocket launcher weapon that I got to try out later in my demo to great effect. But customization doesn't stop there, because once you have your loadout picked out, you can go next door to give your ride a custom paint job with a variety of colors and decals to choose from. Like I said, if you're a fan of Toriyama's unique vehicle designs, Sandland will let you fully geek out. The second half of the demo was dedicated to some of the side activities Beelzebub can take on. There are side missions where Beelzebub can accept bounties on some high-profile targets, more on that in a bit, as well as races where you can take your newly customized ride for a true test. With 3 different race difficulties to choose from, each changing the course in some way, you can test your ride against enemy riders and time itself. There are other side activities Beelzebub can take on in Sandland, one of which is accepting bounties for tough enemies roaming the desert. I took my newly customized tank out to try and nab some of these bad guys and found that my new missile launcher equipped tank was more than enough to take on some of these bad guys in the blink of an eye. One final note is that even with my limited hands-on time, Sandland is shaping up to be massive. If it weren't for some of the time constraints, I wouldn't have used the fast travel feature to get from place to place, and instead, I would have loved to have taken my sweet time to take in the sights. Alas, that'll have to wait until I get my hands on the full game. Sandland's transmedia returns is a true surprise so far. Honestly, I haven't thought about it since reading it in a copy of Shonen Jump over 20 years ago. And here it is in a brand new game and even a new anime. For fans of classic PS2 era anime games, there's a lot to be excited about in Sandland, even without knowing anything about the series. However, Sandland really feels like a love letter to Akira Toriyama fans. I'm talking about the Dr. Slump and early Dragon Ball fans. There are dozens of amazing Dragon Ball games you can play right now, but if you're a classic manga fan and someone who's loved the Toriyama art style and world building, be sure to check out Sandland when it hits consoles and PC on April 26th. That's been our exclusive preview of Sandland for IGN Fan Fest. For more from this week's show, check out IGN.
That was a look at Sandland right here on IGN Fan Fest 2024. That game is based on a manga by Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama. Sandland manga is great, but it's also really short. The entire series can be collected in one volume. Apparently Toriyama was planning on making a series involving a tank, but then quickly realized how hard it is to draw tanks and just kind of called it quits. Seriously, that's not a joke, you can look it up. Anyway, our next game also has a major emphasis on tanks of a different kind. Here's a look at something very big that's about to make a splash in Dave the Diver.
Let's jump ahead a little bit, shall we, and see what our friends Jot and Thrash are up to in their quest to cause a little trouble for mean old Hunger. Ah, so our heroes have made it to the mountainside. A bit further than I expected, perhaps. And it seems our bunny friends know where Jot and Thrash can get a pass inside. But it might take a bit of adventuring to find it. There you go, Jot. He seems to have found it. And found a bit of trouble as well. Well, this is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Time to use your smarts and work out the problem a little bit at a time. Oftentimes, the solution just slides right into place. Success! It looks like Jot and Thrash were triumphant once again and continue their quest ahead. But who knows what's on the next page for the plucky squire.
Hello. We made a game together with our friends, and it's called Harold Halibut.
Hello. How are you,
I'm Harold Halibut, sir.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Harold Halibut is a narrative game about life and friendship on a city-sized spaceship that crash-landed on an alien water planet. You help your scientist boss, Jean Marot, to figure out how to find a new, drier home. The game begins with Harold's mundane day-to-day, but mysterious events and a fateful encounter lead down a rabbit hole to a psychedelic new realm. What part does the dubious Allwater Corporation play in all of it? Who are the mysterious Light Keepers?
And why the tube fares keep going up.
Explore away from the start and get around via waterslide tube system which connects the different districts of the Fedora 1. You are able to openly travel between the various parts of the station.
You seem to have waylaid your PDA.
Ah, thanks, Professor.
You can keep track of the tasks and messages you get from other characters on a wonky handheld computer. It comes bundled with a notebook where Harold recaps the story in the form of crude little drawings. It was important for us to not only focus on the increasingly exciting main storyline, but to create a world full of interesting events and meaningful encounters. Woven into the narrative, you'll find playful interactions like playing music to space bacteria, fixing a broken 3D printer, or having a party! We made everything in the game by hand, sculpted from clay, carved from wood, painted with paint. But then, we 3D scan it all, and in the end, you can walk around as Harold and hang out with the inhabitants of the Fedora 1. It's been more than 10 years since we started this project, and we can't wait to finally release it within the next couple of months. You can already play a demo of the game and wishlist it on Steam. Thank you.
That was a look at Harold Halibut, a handcrafted stop-motion game that's been in the works for over a decade. But hey, clay ages well. I mean, the kind that they use for stop-motion does. A lot of clay gets really hard and people use it to make pots and ashtrays and stuff like that. Anyway, speaking of stuff that ages well, here's a look at a couple classics from the 8 and 16-bit era that are getting some re-releases courtesy of Konami. Take a look.
I've been lucky that so far in my career I've always managed to work on stuff that I want to do. I want to make an experience which is just makes you smile, which gives you that buzz, which just makes you feel good.
Jeff is one of the true originals in gaming. Like, there's no one else like him.
The first time I loaded up Revenge of the Mutant Camels, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Am I being chased by an umbrella?
Everyone else was just a company or product, and Jeff was Jeff.
What he makes is him.
I remember lying in my bedroom in the dark and listening to Pink Floyd. And in my head, I would imagine like sort of abstract geometric shapes. And so I came up with this like 1K program, which I called Psychedelia. Does this work? I think it works. Maybe people don't agree with me, but at least I tried.
Tempest 2000, that was the flagship game. That was the killer app.
He's an artist that just gets more and more powerful. I want to enjoy what I do. I want to feel happy with the things that I've made, and I want to make things that I want to play with.
Those are a couple of actual throwbacks, some Konami classics, and a collection of work from the prolific English game dev Jeff Minter. Up next, we've got a game that seems retro, but isn't. It's a brand new game based on the retro-futuristic cult classic 2015 film Turbo Kid. Take a look.
Witness. Imperial engines adorned in filth, a testament to their glory. Yet the machine spirits yearn for reawakening, shaped in the likeness of the Omnissiah, purity. It is an honor to service these triumphant vessels. Our tool, the Mark II Aquasantica Aquabus. Our adversary, dirt. An act performed in dutiful veneration of the Omnissiah carries glory, whether by power armor or power washer. Yes, the canticles of restoration must be performed. Our purpose is true. Purge the unclean. Where is that servitor with my blessed incense?
You know, I think we need a Power Wash Simulator prequel where you try every means of cleaning possible before hiring the power washing company. You start out with like a wet paper towel, you work your way up to a Brillo pad, maybe you get like Magic Eraser DLC. Actually, I think at that point you're probably just better off cleaning your house for real. And video games are supposed to be about escapism. Speaking of which, next up we gotta look at an action RPG that lets you escape to a fantastical open world to wage war against an army of the undead. Here is Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Just what I needed.
No escape for you.
Is it me, or do those statues look like you?
They were probably inspired by one of my visits. I traveled to the above when the great below got too much to bear.
On your feet, Nor.
Done and dusted.
Welcome to Wild Bastards, an upcoming strategy shooter with multiple layers of gameplay. I'm Dean from Blue Manchu, and I'm going to give you a first look at a typical gameplay session of Wild Bastards.
Preach here.
So let's go with Preach, Rawhide, and Billy.
Locked and loaded.
Here we are on the planet, and we can see that Rawhide isn't that far off. But we also need to think about the loot that we can gather while we're down here. The key to combat in Wild Bastards is actually the ability to swap between your outlaws during the showdown. You can see I have started as Billy, but when I need to, I can swap to Preach to utilize their weapon and stunt. Let's take out that barrel. Less cover will make it harder for them to get the drop on me. This game features an array of mods and pickups to help during combat, including this invulnerability pickup I grabbed earlier. Invulnerability is really helping me clear out this stronghold, getting in and flushing them out since they were all hunkered down behind cover when I approached. The planets we visit in Wild Bastards feature day-night cycles, so now I get to make the most of the cover of darkness. This shielded enemy is a yellow belly. Luckily, my other outlaw, Rawhide, has a sonic rifle that can shoot right through. Since it is night, spotting enemies will be harder.
Yes, sir. It's Rawhide.
Luckily, my helpful coyotes are going to help go after these enemies. That is, if I don't shoot them too. Another yellow belly, so Rawhide's turn. Great, so here's some juice I can use for my outlaw's stunt. This is a unique ability each outlaw has. For Rawhide, I get more coyote allies. Time to go up and hopefully catch them by surprise.
Hey, man!
Outlawed rounds. So these are a seriously good mod. I like the idea of burst on Preacher's Gatling gun, so let's give her the rounds. No one got injured, but all three of our outlaws are tired. That means I'm going to try and rest them for the next planet. A great haul of loot though. Let's unpack these aces now. So, Billy's leveled up and I can choose between more damage, more ammo, or a cloud of ink. There's a lot more to this game to show, so please follow us on social media or join our Discord to find out more. Thanks so much for watching.
That was a look at Wild Bastards, which certainly looks wild, though I can't personally speak to the lineage or character of its protagonists. If that wasn't wild enough for you, well, good news, we've got an even wilder, longer, and less legitimate trailer up on YouTube and IGN. Up next, a psychedelic candy-coated indie shooter running on Unreal 5. Have a look.
You are no longer an individual of flesh and blood. You are to be the front lines of the revolution. Their oppression is a glass cannon grill. To shatter, all it takes is a slip. You are the mud underneath their boots.
OMW, nothing left to prove. So enjoy the view, taking a picture like Malibu. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamonds.
It's not the love.
Take me home, on my way.
You are Immer, and you will be their downfall. Insolent.
On my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. And that, dear viewers, was Dome King Cabbage, a trip-hop-infused visual novel about a cloud person having an existential crisis on their way to a job interview because they realize they're living in a monster-collecting JRPG, and really, I think we can all relate. As much as it pains me to say so, it is time for me to go away. But don't worry, because there's still plenty more FanFest to come, and as a parting gift, I have 2 more trailers for you. Forever Winter, a horribly depressing thing to think about in mid-February, but a pretty cool-looking video game, and then arguably our most controversial game of FanFest, the newest addition to the Contra universe. Controversial. Operation Galuga. Take a look.
missing super soldiers and a doomsday weapon. Hell of a Friday. We meet at last. Aliens? What the hell? Sorry, boys! Looks like a dead end! You want me to avoid Contra? No! You cannot!
Hi, I'm Alex Lee, voice actor for Solo Leveling's Sung Chinu. Make sure to check out IGN Fan Fest for an exclusive look at a brand new trailer for Crunchyroll's Solo Leveling doc, The Leveling of Solo Leveling.
Hey, I'm Stella Chung, and I'm so excited because today we get to speak with the cast of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Joining me are Gordon Cormier, Gawain Dio, Ian Owsley, Dallas Liu, and Elizabeth Yu. Hi!
Hey!
Hello!
How's it going?
So, first question. What moments from the original series are you most excited to see in this version of the story?
Ooh. That's a good one.
I think like the bloodbending stuff with Hama would be really cool. The balance of like, I can do this, but I can do this, you know? That would be really fun to do as an actor.
I think I'm excited to potentially put on some Kyoshi Warrior armor. That would be cool. And then like later on, like maybe I get to be cool for a second, like use a sword, maybe. That'd be cool. Besides that, I mean, I'm excited to see Zuko with the hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am too.
Yeah, you said before the interview that you've rewatched this 26 times?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the show 26 times. People are starting to say it's a problem. I call it more of a hobby.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah.
More like a lifestyle. Yeah, a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I'd like to see is in book 3, Zuko versus Azula.
Yeah.
That's a good fight. That's an epic battle.
Yes.
With her blue fire and my regular old flame. But I have such a cool haircut in that, which is like the real character development.
Yes. Yeah. Amen.
But in our show, I think we get to tap into the Airbenders versus the Fire Nation, which is going to be exciting to see.
Piggybacking off of that, which of your character's traits were you most excited to bring to life for live action?
I mean, just being super happy almost all the time is really awesome because like I could show up to set and just not have to get into character and just be myself. And that's like really sick. I mean, Aang, yeah, he goes like dark places for like 2% of the show. So like, it's just really cool and I'm ready for people to see that. I think something that I was really excited to bring to life was the comedic elements of Sokka. Like getting to eat a bunch of food too is pretty cool. I liked bringing that to life in the character. Like that.
Yeah, that was sick.
It's cool because Sokka's like actually has like a lot of range. He gets to feel like a lot of stuff in a way. He's like, when I was watching it like growing up, like kind of the more relatable one. Like obviously like I thought I was Zuko, but like in real life, I'm Sokka.
Yeah, so Elizabeth, you kind of play a mean character, but obviously everyone's so friendly with each other. How hard was it to get into character, you know, immediately off set and in set?
I had gotten a little bit of time to like be able to prep a little bit for the character. It was a big switch from my own personality. So I think it was like a lot of, we also had like an on-set like acting coach, Millie, who like really helped me figure out like how, like body language too. The costumes helped so much.
Yeah.
Like getting to like wearing like leather armor that was like molded to my body was, and so I had to like sit like this and like my shoulder, like that totally helped me get into character. Yeah.
Have you used any of that like newfound body language to look mean like on the streets? Because you talk about being in New York, you gotta get a little pushy. Have you used any of that in real life?
No, I'm very like, I'm very like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm very like apologetic in real life. So I don't know, maybe it was like cathartic to be able to play that character because I'm so opposite in real life. So I guess I have like, it's like therapy. Yeah, it's very therapeutic to be mean. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you've all seen the show. So did you get to talk to any of the original voice actors to get their input on the characters?
I got to speak. I got to speak with Dante Bosco. I had a few conversations with him. He said he was passing me the torch, and I don't think I really felt it until we had finished filming the series, and I gotten to really talk to him about my experience on the show and really becoming the character fully. But he was extremely supportive. He's such a great guy, and yeah, he's super supportive of our entire show and cast. So it was really nice to be able to speak with him.
Did he say there were any lines in particular he was excited to hear or see you say?
So although there wasn't a particular line that Dante Bosco was excited to hear, he really wanted me to make Zuko my own. So, there's Dev Patel and Dante Bosco, which are two inspirations. So actually he was hoping that, I could do my own thing, maybe grab some inspiration from him, some from Dev, and then, just make this big mash of my own Zuko.
Have you decided who this Zuko is going to be?
It's going to be my Zuko.
Oh. Wow, I saw a little bit of Zuko content.
It's mine. My heart skipped too, I saw. This is hot, dude.
So, do you have any standout memories from when you were on set?
Oh.
Lots of memories in school with this dude.
I remember once I was shooting a really serious scene, and then I hear Gowan, Dio, and Ian in the background
Yes, this is so
Gordon, slay, right?
Wait.
So,
wait.
You need to build it up better.
Yeah, wait.
Okay, I'll let you. You're good.
Okay.
You want to hit it? Yeah, go ahead.
So random. I think it was my doing. We started doing this thing where we would just hit slay.
Where we would slay.
Where we would slay, and it would go along with the movement, like the slay with the hip. It's like a whole thing. So then we just started doing that a lot, and then me and Ian were in the background of a close-up on Gordon
crying.
We're like walking in a triangle, right? Situation.
Yeah.
And we're trying to build morale because we're low-key in a rush at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So Gawandio was like, wait, slay.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's good.
Wait,
And
one
then
sec. One sec. Wait,
So
wait.
he goes-
Let me say it.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll let you.
So me and Ian are in the back going slay.
And I go, oh yeah, slay. And we're like, Gordon slay. And he goes,
I can't slay right now.
so seriously, I can't slay right now.
And then eventually I hit the slay. And then I completely screw up my crying scene, which we got. We got it.
We got it.
We got it.
It was great.
But I was too busy slaying on the first take.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is joining the Netflix family, but there are already some pretty powerful characters on the platform. So, the cast of Avatar have agreed to help me decide what kind of benders some of Netflix's most famous characters would be, based on their personalities, powers, or general vibe. Then we'll decide who has to shoulder the heavy burden of being the Avatar of original Netflix characters. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Wait,
Okay.
who's replacing me? Millie, don't take my job. I need this.
She's in everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right, so the first character, Wednesday Addams.
Whoa. I feel like that's kind of a
quite
given.
obvious.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is
I
it?
don't-
Is it
Earth,
fire?
obviously. No, I'm kidding. It's fire.
It's fire.
Yeah, it's fire.
Fire?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Probably know how to lightning bend and all that too.
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Would she be a better firebender than Zuko?
Zuko, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, here's a hard one. What about The Witcher? Geralt.
Ooh.
I also feel like that's quite obvious, no?
It's between two for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say it at the same time.
It's either water or air to me.
Water, air,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think?
I was gonna say earth or air.
Okay.
Maybe we settle on air.
Maybe we settle on air.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll compromise.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's a
Air's
gentle
pretty
giant.
good. Yeah. All right, Luffy, One Piece.
Our boy.
Just so you know, we really love Anaki, and
Yeah,
he's like the coolest
amazing.
person
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Anaki, if you're watching this, we love you, man. You're
Shout out.
awesome. I want to claim Anaki. I think he's an airbender.
Yeah.
He's free-spirited.
The colors work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say air too.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the one part of my family that's still here.
Oh.
Just not,
He's just sailing.
Okay, so we'll move on to Sabrina Spellman.
Ooh. I think fire. I kind of.
This is a hard one.
I want to claim her.
In a way.
Yeah, you want to?
I want.
All right, Lizzie claims her.
Okay.
She's like I feel like that mystical right. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did such a bad job.
I like the dance of the description.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
Okay.
You look like you want to debate it.
I feel like
I know,
she could also be water though.
Yeah.
Because I
And they just
feel
ain't got
like it's
nobody on their
also very,
squad.
like, I know, you know.
I could see her specifically doing blood bending.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good point.
You always got to think
That's
of
really
like the chains on different.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah.
you can
Like
claim
the
her. You can claim her. You can take her. I got it.
Okay, so we're going with water for
Yeah.
Sabrina. Okay.
All right.
What about Scott Pilgrim? From,
Not fire.
I think Earth is a contender.
He's
let me.
so like
He's a bad
in a way this is what gets me because he's so main character-y. He reminds me of like an Aang, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's
The
he's the like he reminds me of the Avatar, not like of a nation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, the way Michael Cera played him in the movie, like he had so many different components.
Yeah.
Is he the next Avatar? Are you guys deciding on?
I feel like he should.
Guys, come on, you guys. I
kind of.
Guys, I'm a really good friend.
How many more do we have after this?
No, but Mike.
Okay, let's circle back to it. Let's circle
Okay,
back.
okay,
Okay, we'll come
Yeah,
back.
I like Scott Pilgrim as the
I like that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wait. All right. So how about Ramona Flowers then?
Oh, water, yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, we got one. Hell yeah.
How about Hopper from Stranger Things?
Earth.
Earth.
Easy.
Okay. Wow, that was unique.
He's the next king in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
Wait, why would you dub him King of the Earth Kingdom?
I don't know. He's just got that energy, especially that picture.
That picture. Oh my gosh.
What if you get him on the show? That'd be cool.
Oh,
The bowl.
He could be a background character.
he's amazing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then obviously sticking with Stranger Things. What about 11?
Air.
Yeah, actually, that makes sense.
Hey, now I have 3 people on my team.
There you
There you
go.
go.
You counting?
Yeah, Lizzie.
Oh, sorry.
We gotta recruit more.
I gotta get more of my friends back.
Yeah, work on it, kid.
Dang.
Too busy slaying the house down, bro.
So would you have any advice to give to Scott Pilgrim, who you all have dubbed the next Avatar?
I'd probably tell him to tell everybody that I'm mad at them for replacing me. I thought you guys were my fan. No, I'd say focus.
Yeah.
Aang has a huge lack of focus, and he could work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us. You can watch Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix right now, and for plenty more on Avatar, keep it right here at IGN.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
We could go another way.
You're not serious. The creatures immerse you into the world that is Avatar. There's no way you're getting me on that.
In the Avatar universe, almost all animals are hybrid creatures.
Otter penguin.
Shark squids.
Sky bison. A winged lemur.
Magical.
It's a fun detail that fans really love, that I really love. So we started with imagery from the animated series and said, okay, what are real world representations of these visual ideas? And from there, built this library of visual information and language that we would then use to inform the physical and the digital builds of all the creatures.
Appa. He is my best turb. Yip yip! On screen, Appa is a flying 10-ton bison. Off screen, he is half back on a mechanical bull controlled by people to make him seem like he's moving.
I've had some of my best days on Appa. It feels like you're flying through the air, which is a childhood dream.
We try to keep as much live action as possible. One thing we wanted to stay true to is the silhouette of Appa as he's flying. So we use a manatee for the tail because of the way the manatee swims in the water. And then also we looked at the buffalo for the eyes and for the horn.
And on set, we had a full-sized Appa head, but it has no emotion to it. Gordon did an amazing job just relating to this thing, and our VFX team did an amazing job of bringing that emotion to the character of Appa so it matches with what Aang is doing in the scene.
You want to join us, Mama?
Momo is our very cute winged lemur who loves food and has some great banter with Sokka.
Bet you taste like chicken.
One of the biggest challenges with Momo was taking this creature that I loved the animated version of and making it feel real. So we reference a lot of different lemurs and monkeys for performance because we didn't want to lose all that personality.
We worked on his eye sizes because it's all about how emotive Momo can be.
We have a little furry ball that we use for reference, but the actors are acting with nothing else there, and Momo is completely created in the computer.
Badger mole.
The badger mole, in our world, just a tennis ball, but Gawandio and Ian did an amazing job.
For the badger mole, we wound up going over to the bear because that would help us with the weight. And then also his mouth, because his mouth gets really close to camera. And we really wanted to articulate his mouth to make sure it was believable, even for like the gradation in his teeth, which was really fun.
The ostrich horse on set is actually a stunt vehicle, and there's a stunt driver underneath our actors that are on top of a saddle.
Ostrich horses are ridiculously cool. They have frenetic movements, but then also when he's walking, he needs to be pristine, but it needs to also have weight and feel heavy.
It's fun getting to see the world of the Avatar come to life.
I hope that fans will be super excited when they see it. Like, oh my god, no way.
That is one big birdie.
Audiences will love the characters, the emotional journey, the storyline, the epic action, the humor.
Please tell me that he's saying, "Welcome, friends."
That's not what it's saying.
But I have a feeling they're gonna love Appa the most. Or Momo. One of the two. That's what they always say.
Don't worry, kid. You don't have to do this alone. You have me, Tara, and a flying ball of fur. What more do you need? Really?
Hi, IGN Fan Fest. I'm Shirako Dunlap. I'm Maya Rudolph. And I'm Natasha Leone. Catch this exclusive clip from our new series, The Second Best Hospital in the Galaxy, coming exclusively to Prime Video on February 23rd. Woo!
Few hundred years since I saw that faceplate. You've got some nerve showing up here.
I see you finally stole yourself a set of big and small ray guns. Big news! You're about to be small.
Read the small print. You're about to be big. It's good to see an old friend, Vlam. What stolen goods do you need?
An unoccupied vintage bioluminescent shell from the Earth century.
Of course you want me to get around an interplanetary embargo. Oh, I miss us.
If you're out there exploring the galaxy and come down with some kind of interstellar illness, then you're going to need some otherworldly medical professionals, just like the ones found at the second best hospital in the galaxy, which also happens to be a brand new animated series from Amazon Prime. Here to break it all down are the executive producers, Maya Rudolph, Natasha Leone, and Shirako Dunlap. Ladies, welcome to Fan Fest.
Thank you. Hello.
So you've crafted a super fun medical procedural animated series. So straight off the bat, I need to know, what's the most fun you've ever had at a hospital?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm sure we have tons of stories. Nothing but fun. I haven't had a bad one. It's just antics abound.
When I think of hospitals, I just think of laughs.
Yeah. Singing. Yeah, that song. Dance. I'm sorry, dolls.
Wow. Just all the fun happening in there. But no, seriously, the series has been in development, I believe, since 2020. It was once simply called The Hospital. So how did you land on the current name, The Second Best Hospital in the Galaxy?
Well, it was always the tagline, the second best hospital in the galaxy. And then at some point, Amazon got very excited and said, let's make that the title. And I was like, it does sound like Douglas Adams, and so we shall.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's obviously a pretty unique premise for an animated series. So kind of where did that inspiration come from? Where did that get birthed, if you will?
Yeah, it came from, have you heard of a little movie called Groundhog Day? There's Bill Murray is stuck in a time loop. And I had been thinking, what would you do? What a nightmare it would, like, what would you do to try to get out of it, you know? And wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be nice if there were accessible healthcare that you could go to and say, hey, I'm stuck in a time loop and you're a sci-fi surgeon. What can you do to help me? And I kind of just started thinking about all these classic sci-fi films like Alien, you know, she's got an alien in her stomach, and these main characters in classic sci-fi films become tertiary patients in our show. And so it becomes more of a, I got to schedule an appointment for my life-altering illness.
I love it. Now, Maya Natasha, not only are you executive producing the series, you're also starring in it. So tell us, how do you describe the characters that you play?
I play a very, very old robot. We're talking like 20,000 years old. So she's had a lot of relationships. And she's just completely has so much pride in her job and really devotes herself to her doctors, Sleech and Clack. She looks up to them. She wants to do nothing but good for them, and so just takes a lot of pride and would literally do anything, including laying her own body down for them to cross as a bridge. So she brings all of her many lives to every present situation and likes to talk about it a lot.
And Nurse Tup is not 20,000 years old, but sort of, I guess, has an attitude that is like...
Could be similar.
Plus or minus a few years. How old is she, Shirako? You're the creator.
22.
She's 22?
So she's relative.
She's lived on.
It's hard to know with aliens what that means.
Yeah.
The whole planetary scale of age. We'd have to ask them.
But yeah, she loves her hospital, and she'll do what it takes as long as it doesn't involve small talk. She's a nihilistic optimist, and I thank you for that, ma'am.
It's a good combo.
I love it. Now, Maya, Natasha, Shirako, I believe that's all the time we have for here, so thank you so much for joining us. For the rest of you out there in the galaxy, the second best hospital in the galaxy's first season launches February 23rd.
Welcome back to IGN Fan Fest. Day 2 is only minutes away. Missed Day 1? We got you covered. Here's a quick recap of some of Day 1's biggest moments. Presented by the United States Air Force, where great starts happen. From launching a career and making lifelong friendships to becoming a better you. IGN sat down with the cast of the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix series to learn more about the show. We also chatted with the director of Godzilla Kong to learn more about what's next for everyone's favorite kaiju. On the gaming side of FanFest, IGN got a new look at a brand new fighter coming to Street Fighter 6, Ed. Those looking to upgrade their Nintendo Switch will want to see what Nitro Deck showed off during FanFest. And finally, line your shelves with the latest from Todd McFarlane. From Spawn to Fallout toys, he's got it all. Let me be real, we only had about 1 minute to rattle this off. Day 1 was full of a ton of cool stuff. Can you imagine what Day 2 has in store? Good news, you don't have to. Day 2 starts now. Welcome back to IGN Fan Fest. Day 2 is only minutes away. Missed Day 1? We got you covered. Here's a quick recap of some of Day 1's biggest moments. Presented by the United States Air Force, where great starts happen. From launching a career and making lifelong friendships to becoming a better you. IGN sat down with the cast of the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix series to learn more about the show. We also chatted with the director of Godzilla Kong to learn more about what's next for everyone's favorite kaiju. On the gaming side of FanFest, IGN got a new look at a brand new fighter coming to Street Fighter 6, Ed. Those looking to upgrade their Nintendo Switch will want to see what Nitro Deck showed off during FanFest. And finally, line your shelves with the latest from Todd McFarlane. From Spawn to Fallout toys, he's got it all. Let me be real, we only had about 1 minute to rattle this off. Day 1 was full of a ton of cool stuff. Can you imagine what Day 2 has in store? Good news, you don't have to. Day 2 starts now.
IGN Fan Fest kicks off now. Today's heavy hitters: The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Dune Part 2.
Nothing fancy.
I understand. WWE 2K24, One Punch Man, and so much more.
Oh, hello.
IGN Fan Fest continues right now.
Hello and welcome to IGN Fan Fest, a kick-ass event celebrating all of the biggest names in pop culture, video games, entertainment, and so much more. I'm Akeem Lawanson, along with my co-hosts Stella Chung and Alan Wheeler. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, pretty good. I'm excited. Now, this is technically day 2 of IGN Fan Fest. Yesterday, we kicked things off with brand new looks at Godzilla Kong, The New Empire, Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Star Trek Discovery, and reveals of awesome new content coming to big games like Street Fighter 6, Brawlhalla, High on Life, and more.
But we're actually just getting started here at IGN Fan Fest because today's lineup includes deep dives with the cast of the epic upcoming movie Dune 2, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Invincible, One Punch Man, WWE 2K24, and so much more.
Now, if you want to keep track of everything as it's happening or catch a recap of everything you might have missed, be sure to follow IGN on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
But right now, it's time to sift through the sands of Arrakis and check in on one of the biggest movies of the year, Dune 2. I'm so excited. Let's check it out.
I remember being on the day like, whoa, like this is real. You don't even have to touch it.
I think he truly feels that he can take the power and make his vision come to life.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 1 did what previous adaptations had been unable to, fully immersing audiences in the world of Frank Herbert's influential sci-fi novels on a grand scale. Villeneuve's take on Dune makes very few compromises in bringing Paul Atreides' complex destiny to the big screen, including and especially the incredible blend of practical and Oscar-winning visual effects. Considering the significantly expanded scope of Dune Part 2's plot, those crafted elements of the production were more crucial than ever to help viewers lock into this world of sandworms, shields, and stillsuits. And not just viewers, but the cast as well.
Shai Hulud decides today if you become Fremen, or if you die.
What physical, tangible element of the production was most useful in bringing your characters and the story to life?
For me, anytime we shot in the desert, and in the sequence where Paul rides a sandworm, it was having a rig that was as violent and within reason, uncontrollable as it would have felt to be on a sandworm. It felt properly terrifying at times. We had an entire worm unit, dedicated to that sequence in the film. Tanya LaPointe, Denis' partner and the executive producer of the movie that she directed. There's its own vibe on the worm unit. It was like a separate movie going on, where the massive resources of this film in that unit were dedicated to getting what's ultimately a 3-minute or 4-minute sequence in the movie, shot over the course of 4 months with a shot list that covered a wall this size that they sort of, dutifully chipped away at over the course of 3 months. So just extraordinary. Couldn't have been done on green screen.
Austin, how about you?
I guess it's probably the 3 hours that I'd spent in hair and makeup, because it shifts you over and you don't see yourself in the mirror anymore, and you just feel like a different person.
Costume and hair and makeup, like having all those things combined. I mean, usually it is for me as well, those elements, but I think getting into everything and then walking onto these sets, we were transported.
I'm constantly covered in veils. It makes it really heavy and I hide behind it. I guess that does a lot. Jokes aside, I've been joking about the 100 veils that Denny wanted to put me behind. My ego was just squashed. And then I just ripped them away, basically. But I think the power of after the turn, the tattoos, knowing I was covered, made me feel very safe, and it also made me feel like I was watching everything behind drapes, and it's kind of how I identify her.
In the shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets.
Of course, for a story being told on a universal scale, stunts, costume, and makeup can only get you so far. To make Arrakis and the Harkonnen homeworld Gaiety Prime feel as real as possible, Villeneuve prioritized shooting on real sets and locations in Dune Part 2.
Everything you see in your immediate surroundings with this film is practical, because it allows you to just be completely immersed, and you don't have to depend on your imagination. Everything is just there for you. It just allows you to actually just be in that moment and get lost in those those scenes.
We get to spend a little bit of time on Gaiety Prime in Dune Part 2. Did getting to spend some time on the Harkonnen homeworld illuminate anything for you about that family?
It did when I watched it on film. Not so much when we were filming it. It was really the actors. It was really Austin. It was really Stellan that allowed me to get sucked into the Harkonnens. But when I watched it on film was when I really felt like I really kind of understood that the Harkonnens are just so ominous and they're just so dark.
You use everything, and when you have physical effects like you really have the sets, it does something to you. And you feel the fascistic architecture that would have pleased Hitler or Mussolini that I have in my buildings. It gives you an enormous feeling. Show me who you are.
There's like this sweeping shot us at like 5 a.m, and it's the big Paul and Chani kiss, and it's like sweeping the thing, and that is just practical. There's nothing. I remember being on the day like, whoa, like this is real. You don't even have to touch it. Reload!
I like being out in the middle of the desert. I like it when it's hard. I like it when people are like wanting to complain and can't because nobody will listen. I really liked being in Abu Dhabi. You know, we were, 2.5 hours south of Abu Dhabi, surrounded by 100 kilometers of nothing but desert. So even when you weren't working, you just had nothing to work with but desert. So you'd climb and you'd probably hike 5 miles a day. It's hard, but I like those things. I like it when I feel like you earn your stay, and I want to make sure to, it just feels more gratifying at the end of the day. But there's something about Denis' movies, whether it be Sicario or Dune 2, and hopefully more in the future, where he loves encasing people in the reality of what is as real as possible.
Dune Part 1 had a heavy focus on establishing the political intrigue baked into life under Imperium rule, with a specific focus on the rivalry between houses Atreides and Harkonnen. Part 2 sees that rivalry explode into a war that will not be decided by the barons or dukes of old, but by a next generation of leaders who find themselves conflicted about which of the old ways to carry forward into the future. While House Atreides is fighting for honor, the villainous Baron Harkonnen is seeking to maintain his family's power and preference in the eyes of the Emperor.
Well, his role is basically, he's realizing he's getting old, and he has to find a successor. He finds Feyd-Rautha. Of course, that's the ideal heir he can find. I don't think he's interested in sort of the generational thing, or he does that, and he's very pragmatic. It's a matter of making the best moves for his genes, sort of.
Feyd feels in his own way, in his own mind, as the chosen one of his group, and feels more intelligent and more vicious and brutal than almost anyone else that he's surrounded by. So I think he truly feels that he can take the power and make his vision come to life. And then we've got Paul.
Yeah, it was, I think, perhaps more torn between two fates or two desires. One to assimilate amongst the Fremen and live as a normal cooperative existence with the Fremen as possible as an outsider, ultimately, and someone coming from personal tragedy, and a sort of greater calling that puts him on a path of, yes, being a leader in many ways, but at the same time seeing through the so-called benefits that come with that, just to the other side of treachery and death and destruction, and sort of the rare conflicted figure that comes into power, extremely wary of it and reluctant at first. And necessity calls at some point, so I think he's sort of pulled between these two polarities.
And you still have to maintain that core of who Paul is at the end of the day.
Yeah, which is tough, and should we be so lucky as to make a third one is even more complicated.
We gave them something to hope for. That's not hope!
I think something that Denny really carved out is the divide between the younger generation, the older generation of Chani and Stilgar, and how they view this prophecy and Paul and all of it. And so it for me, it was wonderful because it allowed also for their love story to be even more challenging and conflicting and difficult for her to accept, because she doesn't believe in him anyway. Not only does she not believe, she thinks it's harmful, right? So, and dangerous. So she's already coming into this against him, and something in her heart, somehow love starts forming. And I think that becomes a very challenging thing for her to accept.
Paul's journey from boy to Messiah may have passed the point of no return after the Harkonnen slaughter of House Atreides, but it started long, long before that. The mysterious and powerful sisterhood of the Bene Gesserit has spent centuries influencing the bloodlines of the great houses to bring about their fated icon, the Kwisatz Haderach, a being believed to be capable of transcending time and space to bring about a better future, or at least the future the Bene Gesserit prefer.
A path has been laid. Let's hope he doesn't squander it.
It's life, isn't it? It's kind of what we constantly battle with, whether it's also genetic DNA of our history, right? If you read the book, it's the drops of our inheritance through the sisterhood that has been planted all over, physically. Not just in our heritage, in us, but actually physically. There are things that have been there for hundreds of years, which trickles down into the knowledge of the trained eye of a Bene Gesserit. And I love all of that. You know, taking all of that into consideration builds so much more power to the cathedral of her identity.
The mysterious Bene Gesserit sisterhood wields influence at the highest levels of the Imperium, and that includes over the Emperor's daughter, Princess Irulan, who has been brought up in their ways. Irulan uses that powerful perspective to stay one step ahead of the conflict at the heart of Dune Part 2, even while beginning the story on the back foot.
I think Princess Irulan is almost straight away trying to play catch up of information that maybe she's been kept from to protect her, or just to protect that secret. But she's definitely smart enough, wise enough, cunning enough to be on the tails of what's going on, and she calls it. And I think her reality is in some ways she's kind of preparing herself for the thing that she's supposed to be preparing herself for, but furthermore, more so than her father is probably ready for her to. And I think she's kind of already making herself the adult in the room without people really being aware that she's doing so. So I think she's probably lending herself to the older generation a lot sooner than maybe everybody around her is prepared for. Which you kind of see in the end, you see that she's clocked everything all along, and she's been preparing herself whilst also being very mindful that she's been played.
Dune Part 2 will be in theaters March 1st. We have plenty more IGN Fan Fest coming up, so stick around.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there, period. And by high-tech, we mean it. We've recently added features like personal notes that save to your IGN account, and a region selection tool that lets you cruise around the biggest maps with ease. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever, and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the games you are playing for free at IGN Maps today.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favorite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery,
I'm coming for you.
IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
And I was like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.
The original series of The Walking Dead may be over, but that doesn't mean that you have to say goodbye to your pals Rick and Michonne, because they are back in the brand new series, The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live, premiering on AMC and AMC Plus on February 25th. Curious to know what Rick and Michonne are up to? Check out this trailer presented by The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live.
I'm getting home.
I have to find him.
Seen the sky turn red.
I lost someone years ago. Now I'm looking for him.
The world must have bled. I have to keep trying. I won't stop. I'm getting there. I'm getting home. Fields of ashes.
It's been so long.
Your phone, you know what it says? The Japanese? Believe a little bit longer.
This is the most powerful military on the planet.
Why do you even think I'm gonna go along with all of this?
Because everything will change.
Burn it all again.
We're the last light of the world. You have to know that. This is not the answer. It must end.
This isn't everything! You don't get to choose for the world. You don't get to choose for me.
This is all I have left. This is all you have left to.
She's not gone.
There has to be a sacrifice.
It's a broken world, Michonne. But together,
We couldn't do anything.
burn it all again.
Well, we are here at Fan Fest. Of course, we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live. Joining right now, we have the cast and the co-creators right here in the front of The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live, which is going to be airing on AMC February 25th. How are y'all doing? Welcome to Fan Fest.
Thank you.
This is amazing seeing all of these faces right here, especially yours, Andy. It's been a while since we've seen your character. So I kind of want to start with you. Coming into the series, where do we find your character? What's the mindset, and like what type of emotions were you personally going through when you stepped back into the role for this character?
Well, we meet him, in a different place than we've seen him before, which was always the intention. In a different world, and he's obviously estranged from his love, and she is searching for him. He is trying to get to her. Mayhem ensues.
Is that about it?
Yeah. I think that was a perfect summary of what takes place.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, Denai, it's been a while since we've seen your character too. So I'm kind of curious, what's the mindset of your character at this point?
Yeah, she's, she left the mothership because she was in search of him. She'd gone through a lot, of course, after he was presumed gone and dead, but there was something inside her that couldn't couldn't let that go, didn't believe it, really believed he was still alive, but had to keep going. And there were a lot of wounds that she incurred after trying to like find him, to the point where things were falling apart at home, and she had to really lock down to finding peace with the fact that she couldn't keep looking for him. And then finding that evidence that he indeed was still possibly alive. There was no chance that he actually, from what she finds, it seems pretty clear he did not die on that bridge. So for her, the struggle is leaving her children and going after her love. And it's really her daughter, their daughter, the amazing Judith, who gave her that permission. So she's on this mission, and it's a very clear one. I mean, her daughter kind of commissions her in a way that is extremely clear and gives her a great amount of drive, which is go for it, find my dad, bring him home. And there's a lot in the way, but she's pushing towards that goal.
I don't know. Baby, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But if you think he's alive, then you have to go find him.
You know, we have some new characters, some new faces to the Walking Dead universe. You know, Leslie Ann, Terry, Craig, y'all are new to this universe. So I want y'all to tell us a little bit about your characters and your relationships with either Michonne and or Rick.
I would say Okafor is a, once again, Scott, how much can I say?
Not much.
Not much. Okafor is a intricate individual. Yet he's very simple. So there is who you meet, and I think that he's pretty straightforward in what he says. He has a plan. He's very open about that. Obviously, he has to keep certain things in a hush hush, as I will. And yeah.
Leslie Ann, how about you? Your character?
My character, her story to an extent mirrors Rick's, and she sort of also was trying to get back. This is backstory to someone that she loved, and I think she meets Rick and realizes that perhaps he needs a little help in this world. There's a friendship formed there. And I think that's all I can really say.
His head just
bobbing up and down.
Listen, I'm clocking that out the side of my eye here.
You know what? There was one nod I did, and I heard you slowing down. I'm like, oh man.
No. I don't want to spoil it for the fans.
Why do you even think I'm going to go along with all of this?
Because everything will change.
Now, Terry, I know you're no stranger to Ensemble Cast. I mean, you know, we know you from Lost. What's it like being part of this universe, though? Going from the supernatural to now the Walking Dead.
It was unknown. It was an enormous expanse because I know there are multitudes of fans of The Walking Dead. And he has a one-track mind. He's very focused on what he wants to happen. And he was willing to use whoever he comes across in that effort. He's clearly someone who's driven, talented, but I think that Beale looks at people and says, can I use him? Is he going to be a help or is he going to be a hindrance? And so that's how he approaches Rick Grimes.
I'm just going to ask you a question, Grimes. Look in your eyes. Why are you here? Do you want to kill? Or do you want to die? You tell me.
So you've been a part of the Walking Dead universe for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, when I think of you, I think of the Walking Dead and all the stories that you've weaved with the amazing cast and crew that you work with. So I'm kind of curious, what sets this particular project apart from all of the other projects that you've worked on pertaining to Walking Dead, and what makes this one unique?
Well, I mean, the way we approached it was unique. We did this together. Back in the day, they would get scripts. And then we'd get into conversation. Yeah. And then, I think you got more than two, but this one was different. Like from the get-go, from the jump, we worked on this together. This was more like playing in a band. And yet all of us have been in it so long that we brought a lot of knowledge. We brought a lot of opinion. We knew the things we'd done. We knew the things we wanted to do. And Andy and I were involved in everything, the staffing of the show, the budgeting, the scheduling, where we're shooting, how we're shooting, everything. And it was tough. But yeah, that's what made it different was the three of us had done so much with each other before making the show, but we never made it this way. And it really made for a different show in the best way.
it feels like just a continuation of The Walking Dead, the mainline series. Like for me as a fan, I'm honestly glad to see like Daryl returning, like all these characters getting their own spinoffs, because like when it ended, personally, I was like, I have so many questions that have not been answered. So I guess, my next question is, does this series kind of tie up any loose ends that, fans, obviously, we have questions. And does this tie up any of those loose ends that we may have seen from the mainline series?
Well, I mean, more possibilities, more questions. I think it's a very satisfying completion of a story. But I think, when shows end, I do hope that audiences and imaginations are always sort of engaged to be like, okay, well, what could happen next? And sure, you can do that with this show, but I think there's also an incredibly satisfying ending to a very long story.
It's been so long. Your phone, you know what it says? The Japanese? Believe a little bit longer.
What I love about this universe, though, is the fact that you all have like pretty much expanded outside of the comics. So I want more Rick Grimes. I want more Michonne, and we're getting that in live action form. And so like I'm so happy that you guys are still going with this. I mean, it's like it's over 11, 12, 13, how many years now 14. Has The Walking Dead been 14. In our lives? The only other series that I cared this much about was Supernatural.
And that one went on for what?
15 years. I don't mean to. I'm getting too excited right now.
I think we were just talking about this earlier, and I think what you're pertaining to is how well it was initially structured. I think Kirkman and Darabont, did such an amazing job in structuring the story that can carry on this way. You're propelled by characters, by people, and the world, like what happens. Folks have tried stuff like this in the past, and it just peters out. But this world was structured in such a way where it could create more and more universes or storylines and worlds and possibilities, and how would those people respond, and how would people who are like that respond? And some become cannibals, and some become generals, and some, you know what I mean? Like what happens? And well, what's great is when it landed with this man, because he came up with so many other possibilities that were not Kirkman's initial ideas, but were, grounded in Kirkman's initial framework. And so, I won't mention like armies or people from the military. We know that much, right? Yeah. So, things like that, a lot of them come from the brain of the Gimple. And then, he's left breadcrumbs in various series and various ways for several years. I mean, it's either genius or it's nuts. I don't know. Maybe it's both.
I'll even jump onto that with what Kirkman did was tell a story that was character-based, that was emotional-based. Then you add on top of that the way it was consumed every week for years. 4 months out of the year, you were with these characters. But we also just wanted to take the story values of character. If you're on screen and you have a name, you have a story, and it's deep. And that's what we tried to do with our new characters. That's what we tried to do in carrying on that story value.
This is the most powerful military on the planet.
Craig, your performance was phenomenal. Like, I've never seen anyone treat Rick that way. And so it was like really, I don't know, like an evil version of himself.
In conclusion, I think that there's a world where Rick turns around and looks at the experience that is down in Oglethorpe and says, maybe there was some kind of conflict there because I was looking at a broken mirror. Right? I was seeing myself in a very fractured reflection, but I'm not. So, Andrew Lincoln as a scene partner was honestly just so much of a pleasure to work with. I mean, we all curate this environment where, there was no limit to how deep we could go, how weird we could get. And essentially, what he's done, over that course of, for the better part of a decade, he shows it, right? In every small moment, even most importantly off camera, the rehearsal process is, his quote was, Craig, I'm a demon for rehearsal, just so you know, right? So what all you see on camera, the space Okafor was allowed into, it was because I was given consent to go there and open those doors, right? As that door was open for me.
And it was because it was a long day, wasn't it? It was a crazy, like 13-hour. We just had the craziest schedule on this thing, and it was just wild. It just kind of went into a space that was so exciting. And then he did the performance that you see, and everybody from behind the monitor, everybody came out, and I was just like, it was so exciting because it was so moving and powerful, and we knew we had it. It was just so cool, man. And that's the fun of it, We've been doing this for 13, 14 years, surrounded by extraordinary actors. And that's why I keep, wanting to come back to it, because of playing like that and the hard fun that we do. It's hard fun, this thing, but it's so rewarding when you've got quality like the people behind us and around here.
My wife is my choice. My daughter is my choice. My life is my choice.
Well, my final question for you all, by a show of hands, who are the ones who live? Can we?
You can.
Our answer. We have an answer. We have an answer. Listen. Look, here's the thing. You're taking it too literally, right? So in the coda, "We're the ones who live" was not about the people who were still walking the earth. It is about the people who have infected each other the right way, affected each other in such a way that they are carried always, and their essence and their courage and their acts of love propel those who they left behind.
Yeah, I want to thank you all so much for telling us a little bit more about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, which is going to be airing on AMC and AMC Plus February 25th. Stick around, there'll be more Fan Fest to come right here on IGN. That was the cast of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Now, I've been a massive fan of The Walking Dead universe for ages, and it was great catching up with the cast.
I'm proud of you, Akeem. Now, we're going to keep the party going here with a look at Solo Leveling, the brand new video game-inspired Crunchyroll show about a hero who battles interdimensional monsters to help raise money for his family.
Now look, we've all been there, and you can go there too. Right after this quick commercial break. IGN Fan Fest will return after this. Want the ultimate IGN experience? Check out IGN Plus. Members get exclusive deals and giveaways, ad-free browsing, unlimited tracking on IGN Maps, discounts at the IGN store and with IGN partners, and best of all, free games. Get 30 days of IGN Plus for just $1. Head to plus.ign.com.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there, period. And by high-tech, we mean it. We've recently added features like personal notes that save to your IGN account and a region selection tool that lets you cruise around the biggest maps with ease. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the games you are playing for free at IGN Maps today. Have you ever been stuck on the same quest for just way too long? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100%, just like we do. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, and so much more. Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed it. That was good, I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on the Cinefix Top 100, Mondays, starting July 3rd.
Why so serious?
Hello there, I'm Andrew Koji, one of the actors from the film Boy Kills World, a wild and unique, over-the-top action revenge film, some pretty cool fight scenes. The film centers around boy, deaf mute with a vivid imagination, played by Bill Skarsgård and surrounded by a whole bunch of amazing, talented actors giving it their all. Film comes out on April 26th, yeah, so save that in your diaries. For now, here's a little sneak peek for you.
Ready, no. It's with me. Help me escape. Hey, it's me. Hey. Put that down. Huh? It's me. It's me. Oh, how are you, mate? Where is everyone? Where's the rest of the team? Apple, camels.
Apple, what? That can't be right.
What are them? Hey? How? Dodo buns for long limbs.
Uh-oh, can't read his lips. Is he mumbling in a different language?
Well, hold on. What about Yamai? Where is she? Yamai. Momo parking lot.
Probably not saying that. Maybe if I concentrate, I can...
Pickle bar briefcase.
Something about pickles.
Snickle boob top.
Are these words? I don't...
Dodo buns for turn to bird.
Dodo buns sound fun. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Dodo buns are not fun. I've never heard a grown man cry. Not sure what it sounds like.
Right, there we go. If you like that and want to check out more of Boy Kills World, including an exclusive red band clip, go and head over to ign.com. And for all you gamers out there, they've only gone and made a video game about it. Well, this in the game, it's in the film. The game is in the film, and they've gone and made a real game that you can play. It's called Super Dragon Force 3. Super Dragon Punch. Hold on. Super Dragon Punch Force 3. Super Dragon Punch Force 3. So there we go. That's coming out soon too. Right, there we go.
Welcome back to IGN Fan Fest. If you're just joining us, so far today we've checked out Dune Part 2 and The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
And if you missed any of that or any of our cool stuff that we've shown you so far, be sure to check out IGN.com, IGN's YouTube page, and follow IGN on your favorite social media platform, because we're everywhere and we can't be stopped.
And we won't ever stop. In just a bit, we're hitting the mats hard and throwing down with the women of wrestling, plus checking out what's next for massive gaming franchise WWE 2K24. But first, it's time for the fights to get personal with Solo Leveling, the brand new kick-ass anime from Crunchyroll. Let's go!
Yeah.
I think I get it now. If the system is bent on using me, I'm just gonna have to use the system.
Q1, you idiot. You shouldn't have held back.
Thanks for the reminder. The weak always lose no matter what. That's the way it is.
Somebody get this guy a medal. The weakest hunter of all mankind understands.
I do. Your crew must understand how it works too, if you're saying that.
Hang on. What crap are you talking?
You hunt and hunt. So now I want to know if the hunters are ready to be preyed upon.
Hey boss, I'm gonna handle this one. Okay, listen up, pal. You need a reality check. Are we ready to be preyed upon? And just what can a jumped up little E-Rink like you even do? I mean, you're the weakest hunter of...
That's one down.
Solo Leveling is the latest anime currently hacking and slashing its way through Crunchyroll for fans to enjoy, and here to talk to me about it is Alex Lee, voice actor for Sungjin Woo, and on the line with us is Caitlin Glass, voice director for Crunchyroll. Welcome to Fan Fest.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. Now, I'm going to start with you, Alex. How familiar were you with the manhwa before being cast in the anime?
Actually, I had many friends who were like huge fans of the manhwa, and they always told me to get into it myself, but I was always hesitant of the kind of the RPG system types of reads, but I decided to check it out, and I was blown away by the art style and just there was something about it that hooked me to the story and the character, and I think part of it was maybe to see him struggle his way through.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of creatives can relate to that. So I was like, yeah, I think I like this a lot.
If someone hasn't read the manhwa, they might not be too familiar with the character. So I'm kind of curious, could you tell us a little bit more about the character as well as how that character resonates with you?
I think there's a lot of mangas and animes out there about a character who levels up and powers up. But I think what's so special with Sung Jin-woo's progression is how similar it feels to my own journey. When you're coming from a place of nothing, you often feel very powerless. And what that means is that you feel super, super angry at the world. Obviously, everybody has a moral compass within them that a lot of people would like to honor and act on. So just like myself, Jin-woo's compass tells him to be a good person. He wants to be a good person. For episode 2, which was one of the crucial turning points of his character arc, right before he got the system and the leveling up part, he made a self-sacrifice that ended up in him basically telling all of his friends, go, save yourselves. And I feel like a lot of us want to do that in the moment, and a lot of us do. And I felt like if I was in his position, I would have done the same thing. And that's already interesting enough to see that selfless action. But what drew me even more to his character is that after his friends left, he kind of just sat there and thought to himself, like, why did I do that? I think we all want to sit here and be like, oh, I would, in a heartbeat, save my friends and not have any reservations about it. But obviously, when you get down to it, you will often regret your choices, even if it's overall for the better good of everyone else. I think there's a little bit of selfishness inside everyone.
Yeah, so how did you go about even finding the voice for the character? I'm assuming Caitlin might have been a vital part of that as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. I could not have done this without her at all.
Yeah.
This role is very dynamic, and there's so many layers to him. And without getting into spoilers, it's basically traversing through my entire vocal range. So that was one of the challenges that drew me to this character. And Caitlin and I worked really hard in the studio to find like a fine line of where to place his voice in each stages of his evolution.
Yeah, Caitlin, I'm kind of curious to know a little bit from your perspective. What was this process like?
So my approach with most of my actors is that I like to start with where their voice is naturally. So I just let Alex come in, and we would listen to the seiyu's performance always, and let that inspire us. But we knew that there were going to be many aspects to Jin-woo's character to be explored, not just in these first episodes, but in the entire show. So knowing that we had somewhere that we needed to grow to meant, okay, where are we going to start from? And also knowing that at any given time, anyone's voice, any character's voice, any person's voice plays within a range of pitches. So it's not like we're saying, Jin-woo's only this and he has to stay this when he's this version of himself. But we just started with Alex and let the image inspire us. That's another thing that's really cool about working on anime, that the picture and the music and everything about it helps inspire what your performance is.
Yeah. Now, speaking of differing from what we may have seen or heard play out in the Japanese sub, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this story, Alex. Like your Japanese counterpart apparently coughed up blood at the end of episode 2. So knowing that, I think fans are kind of curious to know how you approached that particular pivotal scene.
Actually, the story goes is that Taito-ban actually coughed up blood recording for episode 4.
Episode 4?
Episode 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a common... I think it's a story that's been going around, but having spoken with the producers of the show, I understood that this was a super tough role for him and his voice. And basically, I remember the premiere night of Solo Leveling, we all were in a room together and they were like, oh yeah, he coughed up blood in episode 4, so please take care of yourself. And I'm like, thanks for the heads up, guys. But I think part of, or what my core belief when it comes to dubbing and localizing anime, the most important part is to make sure that I channel his spirit and do his work justice and make sure that everything I do at least carry over the same passion and energy that he gave all of his heart to perform, because I don't want any of that performance to be lost in translation.
Honestly, you're making me more and more curious about, I guess, like the recording process. So like is, Caitlin, maybe you can speak to this too. Like Caitlin, are you in the room with Alex? Like what's the process like?
I'm not in the exact same room as Alex. Yeah. So right now I'm in my studio and like in the control room, and Alex would perform in the booth that's in front of me. So we can see each other through a window, and we share a video screen and a script screen, and we watch everything that the Japanese do first before we get started. I may want Alex to see an entire scene, or maybe just a few lines that we're working on. It just depends on the moment. Sometimes what's really cool about voice acting in anime is I find it to be extremely organic, and Alex can agree or disagree, but it's organic because you're just seeing something and then you immediately have to perform based on how you feel about what you just saw. You don't think twice, you just go. And so sometimes there are things that I, as a director, feel the actor doesn't need to know about this moment. So I'll only let Alex in on what he needs to know to perform these lines that are written. But in the case of these bigger and heavier episodes, like episode 2 and like episode 4, we actually sat down and I had him sit with me in the control room and we watched the entire thing. We listen in Japanese and Alex does it. My engineer, Jamal, then places everything and fine-tunes everything. We watch it back, decide what.
Yeah. Jamal. Yeah. Shout out to Jamal. What a rock star.
Love you, Jamal. Yeah. Shout out to Jamal and engineers everywhere. We say here at Crunchyroll that our engineers have to be able to work at the speed of creativity. So as quickly as I can hear Alex perform something and need a slight adjustment done, I am already delivering that note to Alex. Jamal is listening and moving to that place in the session, so he's ready to go when Alex goes and like steps up to the mic, and away we go. And it's pretty seamless. It's like we get on that recording train and we don't get off until it's break time, and then we sit back and reassess everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is amazing. I want to thank you both for giving us a little bit of behind the scenes on what, your performance is like working alongside with Caitlin. So thank you both for joining us here on Fan Fest. Now, Solo Leveling is currently streaming right now on Crunchyroll, so go check it out. Now, before we let y'all go, though, take a look at the trailer for Crunchyroll's brand new Solo Leveling doc, The Leveling of Solo Leveling.
한국 웹툰 중에는 가장 성공한 작품이라고 볼 수 있고
전반적으로 고르게 감동을 주는 그런 작품이라고 생각합니다.
모두가 꿈꾸고 있는 이야기고
이건 반드시 웹툰을 만들어야 한다.
사실 나 혼자만 레벨업으로 해외 웹툰 출판 시장을 처음부터 만들어가고 있다고 해도 과언이 아니거든요.
いろいろなウェブトゥーンをその時に読ませていただいたんですけれども、やっぱりなんといってもすごくそのアートワークに目を惹かれて。
My coworkers instantly told me like you have to get into this.
소설이 웹툰화될 때도 그렇지만 애니메이션화되는 건 정말 상상하지도 못했던 일이었고요.
애니메이션까지 제작되면은 어느 정도 세계관이 완전히 성립된 게 아닐까.
違う国の感性を持った方々が生み出した原作があって、それをまた僕らがアニメっていうフィルターに を通してまたこう世界に送ってるっていう。
Well, that was a look at Solo Leveling, which you can go and catch right now on Crunchyroll.
Okay, well, not right now, this second. We're still putting on a show here.
Yeah.
In just a second, we're jumping into the squared circle to talk to the women of wrestling, and we're also getting a look at the upcoming video game, WWE 2K24.
But all of that and so much more right after this quick break. IGN Fan Fest will return right after this, so don't go anywhere.
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favourite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery,
I'm coming for you.
IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
And I was like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection to the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Hi guys, I'm Amelia Emberwing, and joining me today are women of wrestling superheroes, The Beast.
I'm the biggest. I'm the baddest. I am the Beast.
And Candy Crush.
Let's go!
How's it going, ladies?
It's going great.
Going awesome.
Good. We're so glad to have you with us today. The evolution of women's wrestling has gone through like many different levels. What do you think the next step needs to be? How do we continue to progress forward?
I think just continuing to showcase women's athleticism and strength. And that's what WoW is all about. So we're not the sideshow, we're the main event. That's it. We are the entire event. And so I just think that needs to happen all over the world with wrestling, that women need to be just elevated and show that we're the main event and we can throw down just like the guys, if not better.
I agree. And we just have to keep pushing women's wrestling, women in sports to the forefront. Women are just as good, if not better. We are main events, and we show that night after night. And so we just got to keep pushing that so that more people see what we do.
You know, move past the, we've got 2 women on the promo, look what we did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're
So
not
right.
a token.
Nah.
You're
We're
right.
an event. Yeah.
I love that.
We're the reason. We're the reason you're here.
Exactly. So cosplay and wrestling have like started becoming more of a circle in their little Venn diagram. Like we see more and more gear sort of inspired by pop culture characters. What character would you want most in a cosplay like gear scenario?
Well, I always kind of wanted to have a Supergirl type of vibe. So I mean, I don't know, I already have that, I guess. I mean, mine's like boxing mixed with that, but yeah, just like simple and strong, but bold. And so I think I already embody that. But yeah, I would say Supergirl. I also would like to fly. That would be great.
Yeah.
I keep my feet firmly on the ground. But my favorite anime is Attack on Titan. So, I mean, anything that gets me showing off muscles, showing off everything I've worked so hard to build in that kind of vein, I would go for.
What would you want to say if you could go back in time and talk to the you that was at her first day of training?
I was not patient with myself at the beginning, and there was a lot of frustration, which can really block you. Wrestling is a hard sport. It's hard physically, it's hard mentally, emotionally, and like Beast was saying, like when you get in the ring with somebody, everybody's different. Everybody has a different style, and you have to adjust and adapt depending on what they bring to you and be able to, in boxing terms, counterpunch. So be patient.
There are so many people who come in from different sports who have that thought process. Like we see it with MMA all the time, where they're like, well, I fight professionally already, so of course I'm going to be able to do wrestling. It's fake, right? No,
it's not.
It's very, 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 very different.
And it's very, very real.
Yeah.
The bruises are real. The concussions are real.
The broken bones are real.
She just recovered from a broken leg. It's real in there, and you don't know what's going to happen. So we really do have to adapt and adjust and conquer any way we can.
Yeah. Beast, what about you?
I would say fear is a lie. Fear is a lie. There's no room for it because, like Crush, I came from a Krav Maga background. So in my head, I thought it would just translate. It's combat sport. It's hands-on, and there was sometimes that fear in the back of your head of, I'm not getting this as fast as I want to, or, in wrestling, I want to win, but I don't want to hurt my opponent, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I want to prove that I'm better than you, but there's no need to take it too far. And when you come from something as violent and as brutal as Krav Maga, there is that fear of taking it too far and knowing when to dial back and when to push harder. So you just have to listen to the situation. Like she was saying, you have to adapt. You have to come through with your best, but also take care of everyone involved.
What's a superhero without a supervillain? And since this is Fan Fest, we're going to play a little game. Each of you have chosen a supervillain as an opponent, but before you can start the fight, you'll need to cut a wrestling promo to show them who's boss. Beast, you chose Catwoman. Let's start with you.
Catwoman. In front of all these people that can hear my voice, I'm calling you out. But before you answer my call, you better call a couple friends of yours. You better call Poison Ivy and see if she can help you. You better send up the bat signal to see if Batman can help you. You better bring all your 9 lives. See, if you and I know deep down that you face some of the baddest in the DC universe, if you may bring your sharpest claws, but deep down, you and I both know a house cat, no match for the beast.
Let's go. Incredible. Now, Crush, you've got Ursula. Take it away.
Yes, I do got Ursula. Well, as everybody knows, I'm the CEO of Let's Go, so I'm always ready to go toe-to-toe. But this time, I'm about to go toe-to-tentacle. We're about to take down the Sea Witch. Ursula, I know you've got a size advantage over me, but I've got a stamina advantage over you. And I've proven time and time again that I can punch above my weight class. So I'm gonna ollie shuffle around you, gas you out, and then knock you all the way back down to the ocean floor. I also know you're dealing with about 8 extra limbs on me, but one thing you gotta know about me is that it only takes 1. And you know what, on top of all of that, the most important thing to remember is that before I was a boxer and a wrestler, I was a synchronized swimmer, so essentially, I'm a mermaid. Do we really need to bring up your win-loss record against mermaids? Ursula, you're the type of person, or creature, that likes to wait until somebody's at their most vulnerable, weakest state to strike. But me, I like to fight them and beat them when they're at their strongest. So that's what I'm gonna do to you. And the only thing that your poor, unfortunate soul is gonna be doing is trying to find its way back to your body after it's laid out on the canvas. Let's go!
Amazing. All right, that's about all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks again. You can come watch The Beast, Candy Crush, and a ton of other awesome superheroes every week on WoW Women of Wrestling. And for plenty more high-flying wrestling action, keep it here on IGN.
Hello, IGN Fan Fest. I'm the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, your WWE 2K24 cover superstar. Today, we're going to show you brand new WWE 2K24 gameplay footage of someone near and dear to my heart, my father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. In this clip, Dusty goes toe-to-toe with one of his greatest rivals, superstar Billy Graham.
What's coming next? A back suplex.
Keep an eye out for that bionic elbow. Be sure to pre-order WWE 2K24 now to snag the Nightmare Family Pack featuring both of these Hall of Famers, my Stardust and undashing alter egos, my dog Pharaoh, and more. Celebrating 40 years of WrestleMania with an all-new 2K showcase, 4 new match types, and so much more, WWE 2K24 will be available on Friday, March 8th, so you can finish your story.
The legendary Dusty Rhodes. May just be the most passionate superstar in the history of WWE. He has more heart, more fighting spirit than anyone I can think of.
And that's exactly what has made him an eternal icon in this business. It's how he's connected with fans and won their adoration. His love for wrestling and competing in the ring is clear to see.
Dusty Rhodes just likes to fight, especially with that powerful elbow. How does he put his skills to work in this match, Corey?
Well, Dusty's rarely the strongest, fastest, or most technical superstar in the ring, but Rhodes has never let that keep him down for long and often uses that as motivation to rise to the occasion and overcome any challenge.
Holy, meet the barricade. Punch him in the chest. Oh, and he slammed his face right into the barricade.
Oh, the face has been planted.
Ooh, rocked him with that kick. Set up in the corner of the ring. Wicked clothesline.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a kick. Oh, this is just too far. Get some control in there. Oh, he's got him down. Is this it? And he manages to kick out in one.
I didn't think this match was close to over.
Elbow drop. Will this be enough?
Rope breaks the hold there.
Dusty is all fired up. He's in a little bit of trouble now.
At this stage of the match,
Canadian backbreaker submission. Submission locked in tight, nowhere to go, no escape. This could... Now the backbreaker. This is excruciating.
oh, what an escape. What a bionic elbow.
Fez press, Fez press, Fez press. He's begging him to get up so he can put him back down. Bionic elbow. En route, here we go.
And straight to the pay window.
Dusty's just about to finish this. He manages to kick out. What strength. He is just barely still in the fight. I don't know how many more times he's going to be able to kick out after that.
That was too close for comfort.
It must be demoralizing knowing you've unleashed your best shot on your opponent. Furiously trying to fight his way out of the bear hug. Can he do it? Yes. Lariat.
Lifting up their opponent. What's in store?
Thunderous right hand.
Oh my gosh, that's gross.
Graham now losing ground.
Billy needs to bring the match back to his pace. You can see as he rises how vulnerable of a position he's in.
The American Dream. Boom! Bionic elbow.
This could put a stop to Billy Graham.
The cover. Dusty gets the win.
Rat City is a new series that marks a new generation for Spawn in more ways than one.
Set more than 100 years after the first Spawn appearance, we follow a new Hell Spawn, Peter Cairn. Rat City is written by our guest today, Erica Schultz, whose credits include Daredevil Gang War, What If, Dark Moon Knight, and X-23, Deadly Regenesis. And did I mention she is the first woman to write Spawn in its entire history? Welcome, Erica.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So right off the bat, you are the first woman to write Spawn. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, I've been a huge fan of comics for so many years, and the fact that Spawn has never had anyone except guys writing the character is, I think, kind of an oversight. And I think it's something that they never really thought about, but I'm glad that they brought me along. I had a great conversation with Thomas Healy, the editor-in-chief over at McFarlane Productions, and we chatted about a year and a half ago. And, you know, I just pitched this idea and they really liked it. And so we said, let's do this.
So new writer, new Spawn, it looks like. How much creative freedom did you have on the project, or did you get a blank check to do what you wanted?
Spawn has always had its horror and superhero and kind of noir genre, and we have that, but we also have more of a sci-fi aspect to it. We have more of like a Blade Runner kind of Altered Carbon kind of, you know, very Sid Mead backgrounds and everything, like very Ridley Scott kind of look to it too.
When I was looking at this with my segment producer, we were thinking maybe it has kind of a cyberpunk vibe to it, or maybe it's somewhere along the lines of Batman Beyond or Spider-Man 2099. Yeah. Is that an accurate way to describe kind of what the vibes are?
Oh, absolutely. Rat City is actually it's a throwback to, I believe it was issue 42 of Spawn, where they first refer to this section of the Bowery as where Al and Bootsy and Bobby and all the unhoused men who were living with him, it's the first time they really refer to it as Rat City. And the idea is basically that the Bowery from the beginning, from, you know, New Amsterdam days, has always been sort of a center of all kinds of going-ons, but, you know, both good and bad. And just like Al was living in this area and was sort of this, you know, king of Rat City, this sort of protector of this area, so is Peter, our new character.
I want to talk more about the new central character, Peter Cairn. He's extremely different from Al Simmons. One notable characteristic, I would say, is he's not dead.
Yes, Peter is not dead. Peter is a soldier, and he was in a mission that we will see in issue number 1, and he becomes an amputee, and he is given these cybernetic legs, these legs that are infused with nanites. And in Spawn 300 and 301, Al Simmons has the necroplasmic detonation, what I call the God Bomb. And he has, basically, he's got Violator, he has an angel and himself. And when he detonates that, basically, he sends a shockwave across time and space. So everything that happens after 300, 301 is going to affect the world going forward. And once that energy goes through, Peter gets changed, and several other people get changed by this energy.
Oh.
And that's how Peter becomes the Spawn, or the new Spawn of 2111.
Can you tell me more about the artist you're working with, Jay Carlos?
Jay is fantastic. It's really great to be working with an artist who just gets it and understands the style, understands the vibe, and he's just really putting in, I mean, the details that he puts into these pages are really just phenomenal. I mean, if you just look at Peter's design, the design of the cybernetic legs and how that changes from when he is human, from when he's a soldier to when he's human to when he is turned into Spawn, because you can see there's these sort of like piping going through, and there's blue lights on his legs before he turns into Spawn, and when he's Spawn, the lights turn green. So you can see like it's got a cyber aesthetic, but it also harkens back to the original Spawn. But we want to make sure that it's not so far away from the original Spawn that people think, oh, this can't be within the Spawn universe. But at the same time, I mean, look at the cape. It's this like slender cape. It comes down. It's got that notch. It's just really just everything that Jay has been doing has been fantastic. The double spread that you have up now, this is when Peter loses his legs. This is when he's in the army still, and there's an attack on his convoy, and he and his best friend are injured severely. There is so much emotion and so much just despair almost conveyed in the acting of the characters and in the acting on the page. It's really, he's just phenomenal artist, and it's a pleasure to be working with him.
Can you tell me more about who Peter Cairn is, essentially, like deep down under it all that carries through?
Peter Cairn is he is a soldier. His parents were his father was an engineer and his mother was a math teacher, and he grew up in Bridgewater, Connecticut, and he never kind of fit in, and he always sort of felt like there was, you know, something that he wasn't fulfilling his desires, but he didn't have the vocabulary to say, what is it I really want? And so Peter decides that he's going to go into the army. And while he's in the army, something happens called the conflict in the Caucasus. And it's basically just a PR title because the world doesn't want to say it's World War III, but that's basically what it is. But to him, he's actually thriving, and he feels that he's doing something good. He's doing something, he's being the hero, he's being the good guy. And who doesn't want to be the hero? You know, who doesn't want to feel that they're making a difference in the world? Once he is injured, he sort of sees this grim reality to that. I wanted to show how this enthusiasm that he originally had was then shattered once he no longer became useful. And I think that that's kind of important, because I think a lot of times people will put they will associate who they are and their core being with something else. So whether it's service or a fandom or something like that. And the second that bubble is popped, that really affects you. And how do you then cope with that reality coming? It's a lot of an exploration of how he decides to use that power, who he decides to protect versus not protect, and, you know, and how that's going to affect basically the world around him going forward.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Erica. I really appreciate you telling us more about Spawn Rat City. I am even more excited to read it now. All of you can check that out in comic book stores and digital storefronts later this year.
You're awake. Was I asleep? Not exactly. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me what year it is? What's wrong with me? Why don't I know who I am? You may feel a little disoriented. You've been through a procedure. What procedure? What is this? This isn't how I wanted you to. What is this? You were created using a very complex process. It's a new technology. That doesn't make any sense. It's the truth.
Hello and welcome back. Now you just gotta look at Orphan Black Echoes and Spawn Rat City before that, right here on IGN Fan Fest, and there's still tons to go.
Coming up in a bit, we're taking a look at a bold new anime adaptation viral hit and seeing what's next for the world of One Piece.
But first, we're gonna take you to school with the cast of Abbott Elementary, one of the funniest sitcoms on TV today. Now that's coming up right here after this short break, so stick around. There's tons more IGN Fan Fest on the way.
The IGN Game of the Year for 2022 is Elden Ring, but I want to go ahead and talk about the IGN Game of the Year for 2023, which is, of course, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Seth, Tears of the Kingdom doesn't come out for another 5 months. Well, I don't have to listen to you because you're not my dad. Tears of the Kingdom earned its title as IGN's 2023 Game of the Year basically the moment its 2023 release date was finalized.
Mr. Miyamoto, are we going to get a new Mario game next year? Oh, he's nodding yes!
Mr. Miyamoto, are we gonna get more DLC for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker?
Ooh, good question.
That would be wonderful.
Oh,
He's disappearing. Don't miss out on the chaos. Every Thursday, we get together to talk about all things Nintendo. Tune in and be part of the NBC family.
I look at that and I thought, that's a man that loves Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
CD Projekt announced the roadmap for all the games that they're working on, and several of which aren't even going to be out on this generation. They'll be PlayStation 6, Xbox Series Y games. Orion, that's their next Cyberpunk game.
I'm so excited.
A sequel to Cyberpunk.
I'm so happy. Like, I don't know whether I'm like surprised or not, but like Cyberpunk has been on such a journey. The context here is that I love Cyberpunk 2077. I think it's incredible and one of the best video game narratives I've ever experienced.
Okay, so new Cyberpunk, and then a new Witcher trilogy. Maybe 4, 5, 6, or maybe just 3 other stories at some other time.
I think that Cyberpunk came out and was a show, and then the CD Projekt board and executives immediately got into a room and said, guys, we gotta go back.
Where's Geralt? Get him back out here. Every Friday we discuss the latest gaming news, and when it's a slow news week, we talk about retro games because we are old. IGN Game Scoop. Every Friday, tune in wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching IGN Fan Fest. While I've got you, just a friendly reminder that you can get the most out of IGN by signing up for IGN Plus, which gives you ad-free IGN viewing, unlimited Map Genie access, a new free game every month, plus tons more.
Now, if you're strapped for cash, there's also IGN Rewards, which is totally free, and members get access to awesome giveaways, exclusive deals, and so much more. You can find out more about IGN Plus and rewards at ign.com/plus and ign.com/rewards. Now, what's next for FanFest?
Right now, we're keeping you after class. But don't worry, you're not in trouble or anything. The cast of Abbott Elementary is here to tell us about the hilarious new season of their hit show. Take a look.
Hi there, I'm here with the cast of Abbott Elementary. Hi guys.
Hey.
So what can you guys tease about Jacob and Gregory's romance this season?
I think we left the last season really kind of opening that door and alluding to like this friendship might not be so awkward. I think we're exploring that definitely this season. Yeah. I mean, the amazing thing about our show is we're kind of doing that with every pairing, you know? every combination of these characters, will have moments where they rely on each other and are fighting with each other. And so, but definitely at the top of this season, I feel like we're gonna follow that trend from last.
Who is your favorite co-star to play off of in those weird pairing moments?
Oh, that's good. Why are you trying to start a fight?
That's crazy.
That's
yeah, guys, who's your favorite?
Against each other.
One of you better pick me, or it's going to be blood.
I don't think we've all been paired yet. We haven't really
That's
have.
true. A little bit. Some of it, just a little bit, and some obviously a lot more.
That's true.
Yeah, you two guys do all the time.
We talk to each other. We haven't had an adventure.
do a lot of
An adventure. I don't have favorites, clearly. But I will say that it is fun to write scenes with Melissa and Janine because they're both second grade teachers and they're so different. And it's fun to play those differences off of Lisa. One of my first early favorite things were, and that was the first story where we really worked together.
Yeah.
I was like, this dynamic is fun when Janine, Courtney had Courtney in the class and her getting haughty to you, and I think it's always fun to play Janine getting haughty to you because it's like, who are you talking to? It's just I don't know. That's always a fun one.
Audience have commented a lot on when you fronted up to me, you chested up, and then ran down the hall.
Yeah, but it's also the way Melissa just looks at her like, are you like, do you really want to fight me? And she doesn't, and she runs away. So I just think that's funny.
No, it is fun. I love playing with you. Yeah. She's a very good actress.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
When I get to give therapy, I get to work with everybody.
Yeah.
So, and they all react very differently. I really wish Gregory would start to listen more. I am very happy that Janine is leaning into herself. That's a wonderful thing to see because I still think that Barbara sees a bit of herself in Janine. My good white girlfriend here. It's like some days she is just absolutely driving me crazy. But you gotta love her because she understands my penchant for the white wine. Or is it the red wine?
All the wine.
The wine, all the wine.
Moscato.
It's whatever wine.
Or maybe it's all of it. Yes.
Supportive.
Yeah.
Quietly supportive in that. And my young Chris. That character right there.
Jacob.
Jacob. Jacob has shocked me from day one, but I am so open to his still willing to learn. And Ava is probably in the strangest way going to be one of the best students because she really wants to learn.
I actually disagree. We have a lot of fun having Ava give Barbara therapy. We do. It's like the only person in the school that can give you therapy, can give Barbara therapy. It's like, it's fun, and it's always life lesson from unexpected source now. And it's fun. It's like, that's what's cool about it to me is that we can play with who's gonna get their therapy from where.
No, there's one pairing that, as personally nothing to do with Gregory, that I love so much because it's such a chaotic choice. And you know exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I can't.
And I'll give you one hint. It has to do with Barbara.
Yes.
But that's the only hint you'll get.
Don't say nothing.
It is it is.
Oh, it's so great. It makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It makes my stomach hurt. And I love that.
So we've got another fan question. We asked about the bromance, but obviously we have to talk about the two of you. What's going on with their will they, won't they?
That's the fan question?
Yeah.
That's what they said?
That's kind of what
That's what they said.
they have to focus on that.
I really love what we're doing with Janine and Gregory. And I'm not biased, although I am biased because I'm doing it. But I just think it's really exciting what we're doing with them, which is, they're friends. So I think that should be okay. That's okay. And that's okay.
It's complicated is the best way I can say it. And that's what I love about it. I'm not like, people are usually shocked. I'm not a Janine and Gregory shipper, really. I like how complicated it is, and I know Cheryl hates it. I know. I can feel you from behind.
I know. Cheryl's like, when are my babies gonna get together?
She's smiling, but it's underneath.
It's underneath. I can feel it.
Yeah.
But that's what I love most about them is that there's a way to address the fact that you have feelings, but it's not the time.
He's not the only man in Philly.
Oh,
no, that's how I feel.
Wow.
I'm proud of Janine for thinking about herself. Probably for once. Yeah.
I'm not going to give up because I still have hope
Cheryl or
for the
Barbara?
two of them.
Both.
As the American audience, I'm not giving up on them.
You are the voice.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not
Please continue.
The American
The Americans not giving up.
Who are your dream guest stars? Cheryl, let's start with you.
My brother Denzel Washington. How about that? That would be great. Throwback to the past, George Hamilton, the forever tan, young, older man. Yeah.
Young,
older man.
I love it.
We know exactly what she means as a whole.
As a whole.
We've been hearing about this man lately, and it's a description that Cheryl gives, and it's so
my
in-depth.
tombstone.
Yeah,
The forever tan, young,
older man. That is you. Diana Ross. I'm gonna keep saying it till I heard. Diana Ross, my estranged, glamorous mother. I love the idea.
Do you have?
Not just because I want to meet her.
Stan.
Yes, I do have.
Who is your dream guest star, Stan?
Your dream girl.
It's a young actress by the name of Halle Berry.
But tell them how you pitched it, Stan.
That Halle Berry would be Mr. Johnson's future wife.
Girlfriend.
Future wife. She got upgraded from girlfriend. It was girlfriend.
Have a piece
Like
of
literally
5 minutes ago, and now I've moved up to
Got
wife.
engaged since the last time you pitched.
Wow.
Behind the scenes hijinks are some of the best part of filming a series like this, especially when you guys are all so close. Do you have a favorite behind the scenes moment from this season so far?
Mine so far, I have two so far. One was I wear heels for the first time in this show. And understanding the pain that Janelle must go through every day, because I didn't really know. And it just made me go, I cannot believe she's doing this in heels every single time. And then I had to take my heels off because they were hurting so bad. And Janelle pointed at me and went, "She ain't no diva." And it's really funny. And then the other one was Chris's birthday, because he doesn't like his birthday so much. But I went and I made him. I had to physically grab this man and bring him back into the room to get his happy birthday sung to him. That's it for me. So
and coincidentally, that is my least favorite backstage moment. Isn't that funny?
I love how
Good coincidence.
Which one?
The one, it was a Chris,
big one.
It was a Chris moment. And for some reason, this happens periodically on our show, somebody will just get so locked in to whatever's happening in that scene that the tail end of the scene just becomes, what are they going to do next?
Right.
And Chris, for some reason, was hunting that day. And I think you broke me like 4 times in a row.
Wait, which day? Which the
I
big
don't think
one?
you were there.
No, I probably wasn't. But is it the big one with the kids?
Yes.
And we peeled off. You and I peeled off into
Everyone's
the
coming in,
library,
Gregory,
and then he
for
was.
something.
I had an
there.
extra cup of coffee.
Yeah,
He
Chris
was
had an extra cup of coffee.
wild.
And he was, I hope we can keep, or like put
Wild.
some of that footage out. At some point.
I'll be reviewing
All
that
I
footage
remember is
today.
that I kept hearing people laugh, like the crew broke every time, and I would rush back into the hallway and go, "What did he do? What did he do?" Like every single time was something different.
We're gonna play a little bit of a game.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do superlatives. So I am going to name a thing, and y'all shout out who you think is most likely to do such thing.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Who is most likely to join the circus?
Shout it out.
Yeah.
Chris.
Jacob.
Yes.
Jacob.
What?
Wait. Wait. Person or character?
Both. Either.
Either Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Chris and Jacob.
Chris character Stan. Sorry, Mr. Johnson character.
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
true. Fair enough.
Person, Cheryl. Character. Yeah, Mr. Johnson.
Absolutely.
No, it is Mr. Johnson.
He's probably been in
He's been
3
in
or
the circus.
4
Yeah, he's been in the circus.
He's like Cirque du Soleil, Martin Bailey,
Universal Circus.
Yeah. But like in the circus,
Universal.
something goes wrong. Bring Cheryl out.
Universal.
All right. This next one is actor specific, obviously. Who is most likely to break during a take?
Me.
Me.
No,
We don't really break a lot, I don't think.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't break.
We each take turns.
Yeah, I guess Tyler is the most unprofessional.
That's the thing. At some point, it's really hard to not watch the show that you're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are times where I'm just like, this is hilarious.
That's what it also works for the character. It works for
Yeah.
Gregory to be like, look at this craziness.
Yeah, it actually.
That's why I think maybe it's not me. Maybe it's just me in my head because I'm watching the show as we're filming it and I'm cracking up. I mean, I definitely break a lot.
I remember in season 1, the sweet baby Jesus moment, and everybody was trying to hold it.
That broke
and Tyler
everybody.
said,
Yeah,
okay, y'all know y'all want to laugh. So let's
Yeah, I was just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Let's just let it go.
Chance to
Yeah.
just, okay, let it out.
Yeah.
That line destroyed me for months.
Yeah.
I literally could not hear it without crying laughing.
That was comedically traumatic. Knowing somebody could just walk in and say something like that.
And it was something different every time.
Oh, God.
We're gonna round robin this next one. Who would you like most to be stranded on an island with?
Characters
Who are you
on
starting
the
with?
show?
Characters on the show.
Characters on the show.
I mean, I guess Gregory, he probably has stuff, a pocket knife and things already
Skills. He has
on
skills.
his body.
You won't go hungry. If it's with
Proactive.
Gregory.
Well,
I would say Mr. Johnson.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
would
Mr. Johnson.
I feel like he's done it before.
He definitely has a set of skills, Mr. Johnson.
You have the
Definitely,
best
yeah.
chance of getting off the island, I feel like, if you are with Mr. Johnson.
I think
a lot of
I-
stories.
Resourceful.
Very.
Yes.
And I think he'd be like, I was stranded here.
Yeah, exactly.
92. People thought I'd never.
He has like a base that he
Let's,
had.
let's go to where
Yeah,
I buried
exactly.
my last survival pack.
Exactly.
You know what my choice would be?
I don't know.
Melissa's choice would be Ava.
That's true. Ava's a doomsday prepper.
She is.
Doomsday prepper.
Yeah, that's
She
true.
knows how to build crap. I feel like she's
She
very
likes luxury,
innovative.
so she ain't staying on no janky island.
No, she'll find a way.
But that's why you're gonna get off.
That's right.
Yeah, but here's the thing: she might leave you.
That's
Truly.
exactly
Is the thing.
true.
If
There's
you're
no
not
might about
who's
it.
getting
One person
on,
raft.
not
She's
able
like,
to-
look, the raft, she would Titanic your ass.
She would
She'd be
try,
like,
though.
The raft fits one
try.
person.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah.
She would try. Yeah, she would try, and if it didn't work out, then too bad.
Yeah, sorry. We tried.
I'll send someone back.
I'll get you.
I'll probably make it. Hang on.
One last quick one, and this one is for you guys individually, not your characters, because I think we know the character answer. Who is the most gullible?
Gullible.
Characters?
Person.
No, person.
Person.
Most gullible.
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 I
one
don't
of
think
us
any
is.
one of us is.
Pretty smart bunch over here.
We're pretty jaded
Savvy.
cats. We've all worked for a
Savvy
very
group.
long time.
We've
it would
lived.
take a lot.
We have lived.
Yeah,
That's going to be a pass.
Yeah.
IGN.
Come up with a different
Nice
thing.
try, IGN.
Yeah. We have one more treat for you fans of Abbott Elementary out there. Here's a little clip from the show in the upcoming season. Please enjoy it. Please watch it. I hope you love it.
You want to get a drink at Ruby's tonight?
Yeah, I'm down.
Did you all not check out Sabrina's yesterday?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, did you mention my name?
Yeah, the staff had a really loaded reaction.
Bet you didn't have to pay, though.
Monetarily, no. Emotionally, however.
You know, you're a real social butterfly lately. Takes me back to when I used to stay out all night to avoid my problems. But that was last week.
Old gal still got it, huh? I mean, young maiden.
Hey, that's how we roll, Mel. Duding it up. Bloking it back.
Broing it down.
We used to be the Three Musketeers, but now I'm one Musketeer, and they're just two they don't invite me to things.
Thank you to the cast of Abbott Elementary for joining us for IGN Fan Fest. Watch new episodes of Abbott Elementary every Wednesday on ABC and the following day on Hulu.
Hi, IGN Fan Fest. I'm Justin Hartley, and here's an exclusive clip from my new show Tracker on CBS and Paramount+.
Hey, man, just leave her alone.
Told you to leave it.
Odds are, if you're gonna pull that, you would have done it already.
Is that yours?
Shouldn't have done that.
Me and the boys will help you put the spare on. Make sure you leave and don't come back.
Put the knife away.
Sure.
This is IGN Fan Fest, and that was a look at Tracker.
That looks on track to be a good time.
Now, up next, we're taking a look at a very different show, True Beauty.
Which looks truly beautiful.
Okay, you really need to stop. Just roll the clip, please.
I thought it was funny.
진짜 시작 나왔네. 아싸. 잘생겼다. 손이 닿았네요. 죄송합니다.
이건 내가 먼저 보던 거니까 가져갈게요.
네? 아니 잠시만요. 그거 진짜 보던 거 맞아요? 저 신간 기다리면서 100번도 넘게 봤거든요. 얼마나 기다리던 건데.
나도 좋아하는데.
그럼 1권 42페이지 무슨 내용인지 맞출 수 있어요? 맞추면 순순히 양보할게요. 못 맞출걸. 난 통째로 다 외웠지만.
귀신이 그림자에 숨어서 목소리 따라하는 장면.
뭐야? 무슨 페이지까지 외우고 다녀요? 오타쿠예요?
1권 57페이지 두 번째 칸에 나오는 귀신.
네?
맞춰봐요. 양보 받고 싶으면.
어인기! 1권 18페이지.
여우할매 1권 39페이지.
저주의 목탁 1권 9페이지.
도깨비 아파트 3권 8페이지. 부적에 써있는 한자.
한자.
100번 봤다더니.
아니 한자는 반지개지. 저기요. 저 개싸가지 어이없어. 이 동네 신가는 내가 1등으로 봤는데. 왜 또 이수호가 여기 있어? 주경스, 이쪽은 스터디 멤버 연기과 이수호. 지민이가 꼬셔왔대.
너
나? 왜?
우리 어디서 본 적 있지 않나? 학교 말고.
당황하지 마. 일단 무조건 잡아떼는 거야. 아니라고 잡아떼면 지가 뭐 어쩔 건데? 어쩔 건데? 어머, 너네 아는 사이였어? 아니, 전혀 그럴 리가. 난생 처음 보는 사이야. 하긴. 망했다. 그만둔다고 해야 하나? 그럼 더 눈치채려나? 하나는 어디서 잃어버린 거야? 되는 일이 하나도 없네 진짜. 너는
헤비메탈 시티 맞네. 너 맞지?
뭐가?
너 만화방 추리닝녀 맞잖아.
Grand Theft Auto 6. It's been a long and winding road leading to the biggest video game of all time, but it's still so far away.
Trust?
Trust. But don't worry, IGN has just the thing to pass the time until Rockstar turns us loose in Leonida, GTFM, a brand new original show all about GTA. Tune in for hard-hitting Grand Theft Auto 6 analysis. Who is Jason anyways? The internet's biggest and most out-there fan theories.
I would make the argument that based on the universe, it's actually not Lucia.
Interviews with the most infamous stars of past Grand Theft Auto games.
Call me Franklin, all y'all want to say, or Mr. Clinton.
And so much more.
We are back.
For everything GTA, it's GTFM. Only on IGN.
Have you ever been stuck on the same quest for just way too long? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100%, just like we do. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, and so much more. Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
Switching to phase 2. All units, enter DEFCON 1.
During the 2023 Game Awards, Jeff Keighley took to the main stage to debut the world premiere look at Mecha Break. The announcement trailer showcased a third-person action game where a variety of giant humanoid robots, or mecha, known as strikers, wage war across a post-catastrophic Earth for the precious resource known as eruptive inorganic carbide, or EIC for short. This multiplayer mecha game allows players to take control of the striker of their dreams. Each model specializes in assault, melee, sniper, recon, support, and more. The ferocity and tenacity of these biped strikers embodies the CSUN Games mission statement for Mecha Break: Blitz, Brawl, Blaze. But this war of attrition was not limited to the game. The blueprint for the ultimate mecha game took time, patience, and a whole lot of faith. IGN has partnered with CSUN Games for Fan Fest 2024 to bring you a look at the development history of Mecha Break. Presented by Mecha Break. Developer CSUN Games' journey to Mecha Break's debut at the Game Awards was filled with obstacles and mistakes. However, each mistake provided a valuable learning opportunity, steadily guiding them towards realizing the mecha game of their dreams. The driving force behind these dreams is Chris Kwok, CEO of CSUN Games and chief producer of Mecha Break. Chris grew up immersed in the era of mechs, where dreams of piloting were fueled by model kits, anime, and video games. These experiences sowed the seeds of passion, ultimately propelling Chris into the gaming industry. Fast forward to 2015, Chris had assumed his pivotal role at CSUN Games. With visions of steel and fuel driving their ambition, Chris and the team at CSUN Games invested in a British indie studio to bring their mecha dream to life. However, much like Icarus flying too close to the sun, this venture encountered its share of turbulence. Joint business ventures often lead to clashes of ideas and developmental challenges, and this was no exception, eventually causing CSUN Games to temporarily abandon the project. Then, in 2017, development on another mech project began. This time, CSUN Games sought the expertise of legendary Japanese artists to design and craft the mechs for their new game. These Japanese artists drafted up amazing mech designs, but their art brought with it two new challenges. One, if mech designs are a natural extension of the real world, then their design framework would need to adhere to a coherent logic and philosophy, which the CSUN Games team currently lacked. And two, unlike manufacturing a car, designing a movable mech was not something that had a real-world reference. So the team had to figure out how to transform 2D illustrations into functional 3D models. Faced with these challenges, Chris and the CSUN Games team realized that to truly capture their vision, they needed to design their own mecha tailored to these specific requirements. Initially, CSUN Games embarked on creating a mobile game, but no matter how hard they tried to improve the game, the outcome was still out of reach of their initial vision: to craft the definitive mecha game. Development on this mobile game shut down, and the desperate team was on the verge of collapse. It turned out their mecha dream served as a beacon of light in their darkest moment. Chris and the rest of CSUN Games made the tough decision to hit the reset button. Save for a handful of concepts, everything developed for the mobile game was left on the cutting room floor. CSUN Games embarked on their third attempt to make their mecha dream come true, but this time it would be a high-end, AAA quality game for PCs and consoles. This new endeavor's name? Code Break. CSUN Games had their work cut out for them. In order to craft a AAA quality game that could put up a fight against the competition, the Code Break team invested heavily into the game's core functionality. including real-time ballistic trajectory calculations, movable mechanical skeletons, and an industrial production pipeline around hard surface modeling technology that allows for high-fidelity mechas without putting too much strain on the gaming hardware. Additionally, the game's engine team came up with a graphics solution called virtual geometry that allows a computer to only render visible models, or parts of models, while automatically generating low level of detail models from a high fidelity model based on its distance from the player camera. This made it possible to render dozens of highly detailed mechas with flying missiles in a complicated environment at the same time. These technical breakthroughs combined to improve Codebreak's in-game performance and graphics, bringing the team one step closer to fulfilling their mecha dream. Having visually striking mechas was only one aspect of CSUN Games' battle in game development. As with many science fiction narratives, establishing a believable internal logic for the world is crucial for creating compelling conflicts. To achieve this, CSUN Games introduced the concept of eruptive inorganic carbide, EIC, a unique resource that combines energy and intelligence, forming the core around which the in-game world of Codebreak revolves. But these biped strikers couldn't sit in the garage forever. They needed pilots to put them and the game engine to the test. And so, CSUN Games crafted a recruitment video with the intent to get a community of players to test a build of the game. This demo, played by 1,000 users, allowed CSUN Games to gain a deeper understanding of player insights and need that would prove valuable in development. But the development team's instinct was right. Players from all over the world longed to also live out their mecha fantasy. But all was for naught until the rest of the world got eyes on what the team at CSUN Games was cooking. Enter the 2023 Game Awards. The Peacock Theater lit up with stylish mecha blitzing into combat, clashing steel in gigantic mecha brawls, and blazing fast combat that wowed the auditorium and the millions of viewers watching live. The smoke and ash cleared with the title reveal, Mecha Break. Mecha Break's development had been a wild ride, but Chris believes that to better showcase the blitz, brawl, and blaze, CSUN Games needed a larger stage. Enter Mashmark. This exclusive PvEVP mode features one of the largest battlefields in gaming history, welcoming both hardcore and casual players to explore and battle against each other. This sprawling 256 square kilometer map allows all the strikers to fly around freely to show off their sense of speed. And the map lends itself well to showcasing a sense of scale and realistic destruction as the strikers wage war across Mashmark. And since Mashmark is the largest map in Mecha Break, it supports a 60-player team battle royale with real-time ballistic calculations, creating a symphony of flying bullets. CSUN Games has plenty in store leading up to Mecha Break's launch. According to their team, they have a clear and final goal for Mecha Break and are committed to achieving it, along with a promise to support the player community. To learn more about Mecha Break, visit mechabreak.com or check the link in the description. And for more on all things Mecha Break, stay tuned to ign.com.
IGN ファンフェスタをご覧いただいている皆さん、はじめまして。神の塔で主人公夜の声優を担当しております市川太一です。神の塔という作品は、頂上に登れば財産も権力も何でも欲しいものが手に入るという伝説の塔を、僕が演じる少年夜が大好きだった少女ラヘルを追いかけて塔に入り、登っていく中での試練、戦い、仲間との葛藤や友情を描いています。その神の塔がいよいよ7月から第2期の配信をすることが決定いたしました。1期の配信からは約4年の月日が経ちますね。ファンの皆様、本当にお待たせいたしました。第1期で演じた夜というキャラクターはですね、本当に塔の、外の世界を知らない、純粋無垢な少年で、本当に周りの助けがないと何もできないような赤ん坊のようなキャラクターで、つい 何か手を差し伸べてあげたくなるような、そんなキャラクターでした。そんな夜ですが、塔の試練を通じて仲間と出会い、自分の才能に気づき、自らの足で、塔を進んでいくことになります。物語の終盤ではようやく、大好きだったラヘルと再会することができましたが、なんと、そのラヘルに裏切られてしまう結果になり、水中に突き落とされてしまうという、衝撃なエンディングを迎えてしまいました。そしていよいよ2期ですが、僕もファンの皆様同様に、この先どうなっていくんだろうとドキドキワクワクしています。2期の始まりである王子の帰還編の原作のライン漫画を読んだところ、1期から6年後の世界が、舞台になっております。今画像に映ってると思うんですが、手前の黄色の髪の、男の子、こちらがなかなか試験に合格することができず、上の階に行けずにいる王子なるというキャラクターでして、この、王子なるが、再度試験にチャレンジするところから物語が始まります。そして彼の後ろにいる長髪の青年、アニメの1期、最終回に後ろ姿で登場したと思うんですが、彼が、ジュ・ビオレ・グレイスという、キャラクターでございます。実は、私が2期で演じるのがこのビオレというキャラクターになります。彼は塔の支配者であるザハード反対派のファグと呼ばれる犯罪組織のスレイヤー候補なのですが、キャラクターを見る感じね、節目がちで、とても大きなものを抱えている、キャラクターとなっております。そんなビオレが、物語を通じてどのような結末に至るのか、僕自身もとても楽しみにしております。ということで、王子なる、そしてビオレ、この2人を中心に、いろいろな仲間が集まり、いくつもの難しい試練の中でさまざまな強敵と戦い、塔に登っていきます。今日はこの IGN ファンフェスタで特別にまだどこにも公開されていないアニメの、先行カットを、全世界初公開いたします。どうぞお楽しみください。
You're watching IGN Fan Fest. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, no problem, Stella. It's my pleasure.
Oh, I meant the fans, Alan. I was thanking them.
Oh, but I'm a fan, so it's all good.
Okay, I know you are, but I'm thanking the audience for watching the show.
Oh, I'm an audience.
Okay, you know what? Let's just keep it moving here. Up next, Viral Hit is an anime that is upcoming, and it's about a high school student who goes viral for fighting bad guys who are way bigger than him. Let's take a look at Viral Hit.
No way, I'm a viral hit.
Out of here.
I love Splinter Cell. Conviction, which is probably my least favorite in the mainline series, only because it's more of an action game than a stealth game.
But you're right, it is more actiony. And you know what? I like that, Ryan. I think it's cool to have big moments where you can execute everybody in a room.
It's not an action game.
You can
It's a
bust
stealth
in,
game.
execute everybody in a room
One
that
stupid
you've marked.
button. I had to stop
And it's
myself from
great.
cursing.
But if you want the Splinter Cell
Hey, look how
experience,
dumb that
you
is.
It's awesome!
Podcast Unlocked has something Xbox for everyone.
The world's #1 Xbox podcast.
So what are you waiting for? Tune in every Tuesday and join us on Podcast Unlocked, IGN's Xbox show.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection to the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
6 years ago, while talking about Sonic on Game Scoop, Brian, you had this to say.
Real point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise.
Nope. Wow. It was never really a good franchise, huh, Brian? Well, I'm sorry. We're well over, believe it or not, 100 Sonic games, 2 movies, a long-running comic book series, and 6 shows. When you besmirch Sonic, you besmirch everyone associated with Sonic, okay, Brian? Brian, I want to present you with this.
I will hold that L. I was wrong. I have since come around on that character. I have watched the movies with my kid and enjoyed them immensely. Sonic Frontiers is fun. I liked Sonic Colors. I liked Sonic Generations. I liked Sonic Mania. Something we can all agree on is that Sonic has been good. It's Crash Bandicoot that's never been good.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
If you enjoyed that, check out full episodes of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show, as we talk, argue, and goof on everything PlayStation. New episodes drop every Tuesday on IGN.com and IGN Games on YouTube.
Well, welcome back to IGN Fan Fest 2024, only on IGN. As you might have guessed by the fact that IGN is in the name.
Thank you so much for that clarification, Akeem. Really appreciate that. Coming up, we'll be shifting gears literally with the voices of Luffy and Kaido, and trust me, the wait for that won't be as long as it was for Gear 5.
Yes.
Rest in peace, soldier. I can't stay here.
I don't think you can leave.
Someone's coming. Why are you here?
I'm a beacon keeper. I'm here to help you. He needs you. And you need him.
Lay down your weapons. There will be bloodshed.
Beacon 23 is under military attack.
What do you want from me? Master?
You're the only one who can decipher the message. Do this for all of humanity.
You are ready to receive us.
人類の使命は神にゲームで受賞すること。頼むわよ、フェイ君。
全部で18名ですね。ではゲーム ムをご紹介します。
巨神タイタンはバトルゲームだろ
う。最新30年の巨神タイタンの遭遇数は世界統計で23。勝率は私たちの人数なら 14% と出ています。
好都合だな。バトルゲームならこっちは竜神レオレーシャ様がいる。
我が主神タイタン様はバトルゲームはもう飽きたとおっしゃってます。ゲームは神ごっこです。
聞いたことない、そんなゲーム。
それって要するに鬼ごっこで合ってるか？このビルが並んでる範囲内でタイタンから逃げる。だから鬼ごっこならぬ神ごっこ。違うか？
まさしくその通りです。光より外に出てはダメです。正四角形のフィールドの範囲内でタイタン様から逃げるのです。
これが鬼ごっこのアレンジなら全員が捕まったら負け？
それも敗北条件の一つですよ。
なるほど。全滅以外にも敗北するケースがあるってことね。
俺たちの勝利条件もそう単純じゃなさそうだ。勝つために逃げる、それだけじゃ足りないんだろ？
はいです。この神ごっこは逃げ続けることが勝利につながりますが、無事に逃げても負けることがあります。ルール説明は以上。ちなみに300秒の逃走猶予があります。
何？
あれ？もうタイタン様が待ちきれないそうです。やっぱり逃走猶予はなしです。
ちょっと待て
隊長ダメです。こんなの追いかけっこじゃ超人でも絶対勝てません。気候の魔法師がそれでも無理です。死ね。別れてビルの陰に紛れろ。
これじゃ私の出番ないじゃない。
上っ面は鬼ごっこだが我々がすべきはむしろかくれんぼか。いっそビルの中に隠れるか。
それですわ副隊長。気づかれず隠れられれば。
握手だ。やめとけアスタ先輩。
どうしてよ。
あいつは俺らの位置を大まかに認識できてる。やばい先輩。アスタこっちに向かって走れ。
Right now, it's time for a new look at Gear 5 from One Piece, plus a sit down with the cast. Enjoy.
Why is everybody passing out? Are we getting hit with Conqueror's hockey? Where's it coming from? What the hell's going on? There's something up there. On the roof. What? Commander Kaido? Is that really Straw Hat?
Monkey did muscles! Muscles! Here we go! And look
Hello and welcome to Fan Fest here on IGN. Now, I got some special people here in the studio. One special person in the studio, one special person that's not necessarily here, but with us in spirit. Joining me right now, we have David Sobolov, the voice of Kaido from One Piece, and of course, she needs no introduction, Colleen Clickenbeard, the voice of Luffy. How are y'all doing?
Great.
Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness. Whew. Well, you know what? Let's just get right into it. David, I see you're already ready already, and you got the shirt on. You got the shirt of Kaido on. So I got to ask you both. I'll start with you, Colleen. What was your reaction to the whole Gear 5 phenomenon? Because I feel like you couldn't avoid it even if you wanted to. It was trending. No. Gear 5 was trending on Twitter. It was all over the place. TikToks. Well, Colleen, what were your thoughts with this?
You know, I usually try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking to people at conventions, and I have to say there was no reason to avoid this one because everybody knew. It was by far the most fan-forward social media epic piece of promotion that I've ever been a part of. So just looking forward to it happening in the future was incredible, and it was very hyped and very looked forward to, and I was really nervous.
What about you, David? The unusual experience for me is that in our situation, of course, the Japanese, I believe, had already aired.
Yeah.
And so people were familiar with it, yet we were being careful to not really discuss what we had done yet. So they were wanting more, and we couldn't give them any more. But I understand we might be able to reveal a little bit more today. I'm excited about that.
That's the word on the street. And this is amazing because I know, like, Colleen, you've been a part of the One Piece franchise for many years. We were just talking about this off air. David, you're kind of new to this. This One Piece is your first role in over 25 years in anime?
Yes, I last thing I did was called Key the Metal Idol in 1995.
Okay.
And when I was cast in this, it had been around 26 years since I'd been in anime. And it was the first audition I had for an anime too, so it was just an incredible stroke of luck.
Now, there's so much fighting going on in Wano. What were your recordings like since, Luffy and Kaido confront each other multiple times? I'll start with you, Colleen.
I got the short end of the stick. I think David will agree with me. I was always recording second, so I never got his voice in my ear as I was recording it, and I would have to go back. Like when I came back in, I would ask to hear more of him. And every now and then I'd get lucky and walk in at the tail end of a session and get to hear his voice like coming out of the Source Connect speakers. So it was disjointed for me in that way, but also like even when we just met a few weeks ago, it felt like we already knew each other to some extent. So it couldn't have been that disjointed because we already felt like I've been fighting you forever. Like I kind of a little bit want to.
Do you know that it's the longest fight in One Piece history? I believe it's 61 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, look, trust me, I was there during those weeks as it was happening. I was like, why is this is still going on? Like, as far as, like, speaking from, like, an anime fan, I feel like it's probably one of the most epic battles I've ever seen between a protag and an antag.
Our big challenge was to, again, stay in the moment.
Yeah.
The fight was always exciting. And I'm lucky because I got the opposite end of what Colleen was getting. I always got to hear her. She was always there. And I was recording in Los Angeles. And where were you, Colleen? In Dallas?
In Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, so we never met until a couple weeks ago.
For the fans that, I mean, like I'm going to say that haven't been spoiled. We have been spoiled. We've all been on the internet where, now this question is for you, Colleen. How does Kaido compare to all of the other epic One Piece main villains?
I think he's just a culmination of everything that came before him, right? So we've gone, and I mean, I've just recently gone back and rewatched because I had never seen the dub, so I'm rewatching right now, and I love how every time you meet a villain, it's that next step up, and you have the feeling of how he can't do this. He's clearly outmatched. Luffy's clearly outmatched, and then he finds a way through. And with Kaido, it was just that next step up of we've already done giant in the movie with Bullet. We've already done somebody who has skills that greatly outweigh what Luffy is currently capable of. We've done all of these things, and now Kaido is just all of them. He's huge. He almost doesn't even have to try at the beginning. I mean, he doesn't. No, I will say that. He doesn't have to try at all. He is so so far above what Luffy's capable of when they first start the fight that it's like flicking an ant. And then I think that just makes that huge quest to beat Kaido, that makes it feel like so much more of a relief when it finally does happen. Like that, we all have that feeling as we're watching the show of like, yes, you landed the punch finally. And you get that even more with Kaido because he is so incredibly powerful.
Well, now we're going to do something fun for all the fans. We're going to have you all do some line reads in character. Now, these are some of the iconic lines that have taken place throughout the storied franchise of One Piece. So they're not necessarily, going to be your characters per se, but this is like a what if moment. Like, what if Luffy said these lines? What if Kaido said these lines? So we're going to start with you, Colleen.
All right. I hope I don't blow out this computer mic here.
So y'all want my treasure? Well, you can go ahead and have it. It's out there. I left it all in one place. Now you just have to find it.
So Pirate Luffy. I'm not going to do Robin's voice because this is a serious moment.
I want to live. Take me with you. Take me away from here. Even in the pits of hell, the flower of friendship shall still bloom. Flames licking at its stem, and on the sands of the river where souls part from the living, it sheds a solitary petal, leaving it behind as a memento. So let us vow that we shall make it bloom again someday. Oh, come my way. Even if it kills me, I won't kick a woman.
That was amazing though, Colleen. That was like, I was trying to not laugh at, but oh my goodness. Oh, again, goosebumps. But you can't see my goosebumps, which is probably.
I want to hear David do it.
Scars on the back are a swordsman's shame. This new era they keep rambling on about is a load of crap. The era when pirates dream of treasure will come to an end. Yeah, right. That dreams of pirates will never end. Hey, when do you think a person dies? When a bullet from a pistol pierces his heart? No. When he's attacked by an incurable disease? No. When he eats a soup of deadly poisonous mushrooms? No. A man dies when people forget him. Shut up! I don't need thanks from you or any other low-life human. Don't mock me. Oh, never mind that. I'm just being silly. Ha! No, seriously, I'm being such a fool.
You all are freaking phenomenal people.
Oh, thank you. You are too.
Aw, you are too.
All right, David, Colleen, I want to thank you both so much for joining us here on Fan Fest. Stick around, we got plenty more to come. The One Piece anime is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year and have also recently entered a new arc in the anime with Egghead Island. Toei Animation has graciously shared this very special animatic from a recent episode of the Egghead Island arc just for IGN Fan Fest. Take a look. Well, that just about wraps us up for IGN Fan Fest. Now, remember, if you miss any of our fan segments, we've got you covered with every trailer, interview, gameplay reveal, and more over at IGN.com and IGN's YouTube channel.
thank you so much for joining us for Fan Fest. It's in the name of the show, obviously, but we really couldn't have done this without you, the fans. You gave us amazing questions, which helped power our interviews, and you tuned in to help celebrate all of the great stuff we showed off throughout the event.
Yes, thank you to the fans. IGN Fan Fest is our favorite way to kick off the year of event coverage here at IGN, but we've got tons more coming. From Summer of Gaming to San Diego Comic-Con to Gamescom in Germany, the biggest video game convention in the world, IGN will be live and delivering you the biggest news no matter where you are.
So from all of us here at IGN, in front of the cameras and working hard behind the scenes for months to bring this whole thing together, we thank you for watching Fan Fest, and thanks for rocking with IGN. We'll see you next time.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there, period. And by high-tech, we mean it. We've recently added features like personal notes that save to your IGN account and a region selection tool that lets you cruise around the biggest maps with ease. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the games you are playing for free at IGN Maps today.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favorite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery,
I'm coming for you.
IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
And I was like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.